Nadobity, hello, hello. You hope I've recharged my equipment properly. Yeah, we are all fully charged now, and the eco flow is just half a meter away. So, I hate this chat disappearing already. In fact, I'm not even sure I'm on top chat, not. Oh, okay. Yeah, it all goes wrong right from the start. Okay. Well, I'm here. Frank's here. We got two thumbs up from one person, so that's a good percentage. Okay, people starting to arrive. Hello, Frank. Um, let's see whether I can do this. I am recharging my tablet as well, and if I knock the wire, it makes funny noises. But I want to. Oh, first click didn't work. Let's. Oh, sorry, babe. Did we surprise you? What about Fullifant? What about Fullifant? She's in a mood with me. She's in a mood. Get this. Let me turn that off. She's in a bad mood with me because I just took her for a walk and she wasn't just hobbling like normal. She wouldn't put her foot down. Um, your wife's still in intensive care. Wow. Is there improvement? I don't think I've had the full story, have I? And I don't want to pry in a public forum too much. Little fly coming right at me. I hope she's improving. I hope the signs of improvement. My Tina here, I just took her for a walk, and she was not just hobbling. She wouldn't put her back left paw down, and I've just got her now. Good, good. I'm glad there's some improvement. I just got her here now, just before we went live, like 2 minutes before, because timing. And I've just taken a thorn out from between her toes that she'd not told me about. And not only that, while I was there, I've discovered she's chipped one of her toenails, the claws, whatever you want to call them. She's taken the top off it quite a way in and cut into the quick. She's she's just in a mood with me because I guess it hurt her while I took the thorn out of the foot. So she's just a little bit pissed off with me. She won't get into bed properly. She's staying down there. She won't play with her elephant, and she won't let me. Hey, babe. Oh, improvement. She's at least letting me stroke her. She's just not responding and reacting. I'm looking after my girl. You can't get in a mood with me. It's my job to remove thorns from your paws. What can you do? Yeah, pain in the quick when the nail either gets cut too short or chips in the wrong place. Because unlike us, their nails, if they're still alive, they have a blood supply and a nerve, don't they? Um, except for right at the end. But she'll be fine. She'll be fine. Come on, folks, who's here? But announce yourselves. Let's say hello in the chat. Unless I'm missing somebody, it's just Frank talking. Um, oh, now I'm scaring people away, asking them to chat. Maybe these are mysterious newcomers who've never been here before. Introduce yourself. I am Delta Mike. This is TrampCast. I believe TrampCast Hangout. I believe 007. When I did the original TrampCast and we got to 007, the program got cut short uh, when I clicked on something and it took me away from the screen. We're all friends, yeah. So I am a tramp. I live in a field. I have just upgraded to a fantastic new tent with the help of TrampCast supporters, and it's looking good so far, I have to say. It's looking good so far. Now, drinks wise, I've got coffee with a splash of drinking chocolate in it. These are a couple of hours old. I've got 1.5 of these, but I am doing a spot of two-handed drinking. Cheers. I shall try not to wave my hand around in front of the camera too much. What can you do? I made these drinks right after the TrampCast ended, so was that 8:30? 2.5 hours ago. This one's still warm and the other one's still hot, which is not bad going. Not bad going at all. It doesn't look like we're getting many people to join in with the chat. The rain has held off. Yeah, we haven't had, I don't think we've had a drop since we put the new tent up, which is good because I've still got belongings out in the field, although they are covered with a plastic sheet. Although tonight I've got a few bits just outside the door that I couldn't be bothered bringing in, so that's a gamble. But I don't think there's anything too important, and some of it's going to get sorted through and thrown away anyway. I'm on the verge of thinking that anything that I haven't brought in after, is it 3 days or 4? Thursday it went up, so we've been in the tent Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. This will be the 4th night. And I've been bringing things in and sorting things out and trying to organise and keep things tidy. But I figure if I haven't brought it in after 4 days, do I really need it? Should I just throw everything away that's still out there? Can't throw it all away, not all of it's mine. Some of it's stuff I'm storing for a friend who's flying out tomorrow. My friend Ismo from Finlandia will be flying out something like, he'll be setting off at like 5 in the morning our time, like my time, and I think his flight's about 11 o'clock his time, which will be 10 my time, I think. I think Finland's 1 hour different. I can't swear to it. I'm not an expert on Finlandia. Ismo from Uvascula. I couldn't even find Uvascula on a map, I don't think. But it'll be good to see him when he gets out. Give him a day or two to settle in, and then he'll pop around. There's a great video. If you've seen the videos, I've had 2 chairs break here with people sat in them, and both people were Ismo. And one of them was this really good wooden chair, but when it fell apart, it just fell like directly on the ground with him on top, and it all landed in place. It's like a 2-dimensional representation of what the chair would have looked like just on the floor. He's got a good sense of humor. He got up laughing. We did a quick video and and put it out there because why not? Yeah, that was a funny one. After that, he was really wary about coming around here and sitting on the chairs because all of my chairs are from bins. They're all from in, on, and around bins. Other people have thrown them away, sometimes with good reason, often not. But this was a big lad, and you know, even if the chair's in perfect order, sometimes he might be outside the spec of. I gotta word this politely, but you know what I'm saying. He's a big lad. He might be over the weight capacity of a chair, even in perfect order. So one of these ones that collapsed, he'd been sat on it for about 5 hours when it went. Good old Ismo. Good old Ismo. Tina loves her Uncle Ismo. Tina? Uncle Ismo. He's He's flying to Spain tomorrow. We'll see him Tuesday or Wednesday. Maybe Wednesday. Uncle Ismo, soon. Yeah. She's sat up and perked up now. She's looking around. Not now. Soon. Tina? Ismo, soon. Surprisingly, she understands the word soon. She knows it means not now, later. Later. Ismo, later in the week. Lay down now, you're okay now. But yeah, she does love her Uncle Ismo. Mainly because he just walks around with a bag full of treats all the time and just... She's a simple creature. That's all it takes to win her heart. I see we've got a few more people here now. I don't know if anybody's... Has anybody introduced themselves? No. Oh. Hold on. Frank ended up on the floor at a friend's the other night. Yeah. Yeah, they learn words. They learn certain words. John Aldwinkle, hello. I forgot what I did pronounce it right. I was going from memory because the little arrow saying more messages was covering the end of your name. I went from memory, I took a gamble and I think I got it right. Yeah, we've got 8 people here but only 2 chatting. How are things with you, John? Remind me where you are, because I've got a terrible memory, like a goldfish. Where are you and how's the weather? Everybody, where are you? What country, what town? How's the weather? Temperatures, things like that. Here is a fairly warm night again. I don't think I've got the specifics to hand, and I can't move away from this screen. Maybe there's a... No. Maybe there's a hint. No. No, I can't do that. Hey. Oh, Aintree. Of course. Yeah. Weather's been lovely. So have I asked before? Are you Everton or Liverpool fan? Which way do you swing? Because today was a bit significant for one of them, wasn't it? It was a good result as well, putting 5 past Spurs. Northern Vermont. I must go there one time when the in fall, as you would call it, when the leaves turn. Apparently, that's the time to go. I have been to Vermont, but when did I go? April or May? I think the snow was still on the ground. Oh, I got a fly on the light. No, I had 2 moths in here earlier. I couldn't get the buggers out. I had one of them in my hand. I caught it. I took it to the door, and I went to throw it out. And when I brought my hand back inside, the thing was still there. So I put it out and brought it back in one fell swoop. Well done. That worked. That worked. We've got other Liverpool 5-1. Yeah, Liverpool won and won the Premiership. Took the title. Good music. Hello, Ivan. Pissing down in. You're in Ireland. Is it the Republic? I lose track of who's where. Oh, it's telling me, like, there's this arrow as if there's... Okay, I click the arrow and it goes. It didn't actually move anything and show any new messages. You're in the north, okay. Okay. Right, folks, there's a few people here now and we're actually starting to get some chat. That's good. Like I said, it's a warm evening here. I'm teetering on whether to take this jumper off or not. I've just walked her ladyship. Well, I say walked. Just carried her ladyship. Frank's been rooting for the Canadians for hockey these days. How so? Why so? I thought that things were a bit tense between the US and Canada. I'm bordering on politics, but let's not go into it too much. But things are strained in the north. One more swig and that'll be finished. Let's get that done. I do like a coffee with a bit of hot chocolate in it. Ah, okay, you're that far north in Vermont. Have you seen? Oh, I don't know how much I'll better show you. If you were watching earlier, which most of you probably were, I did do a quick tour of the tent, but from here, this is the. Oh, don't know why I need 2 clicks again. From here, we're in the bedroom. So here's my bedside cabinet, which needs sorting. That's all a mess. Over down here, this is the coolest part of the tent because the sun comes up over there and then moves around. So this back corner is the cool. So this is where I've got a cool bag that's got butter and margarine and a few bits of food in. Not the ideal place, but you got to use what you've got. It's the coolest part of the tent. I got a bin over here, a dustbin, and that's basically my go bag. That's one of the tents, one of the sleeping bags, one of those bed, like a yoga mat that you sleep on when you're camping. Oh, I got the EcoFlow here at night, lights and things. Chest of drawers, a chopping board because I've been eating in bed again. Tut tut, shouldn't do it, but I do it. A couple of bags stored in that corner, and then a nice big double bed, and we are off the ground just a little bit, which is good. Can't show you the rest of the tent from here because I closed the bedroom door. Because I can close the bedroom door nowadays. Previously that was difficult or almost impossible. There's Fama. Hello, hello. Let me just plug my phone back in. Oh, I've got another brew. There's a second one. Oh, I've left it facing. Oh, sorry, folks. I am a dick sometimes. I got another one already done. This one will be hot because this decathlon insulated cup is phenomenal. 3 hours. It laughs at 3 hours. You make a brew, put it in here, and 3 hours later, it's still hot. You got to be careful you don't burn your mouth. Not burning, but hot. Yeah. But I am doing the two-fisted drinky thing. I got something more reliable on hand. You need to send Nutella. I tend to buy the cheaper stuff for some reason. I can't think why. And that's when I'm the one buying it. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm not the one buying it. Let me just scroll back because I know I'm. Oh bloody hell! Here we go. There's Farmer arriving. Need another brew. Yeah, Farmer. Okay. Yeah, we've got a few. We got a couple of you from the Big Clive Stroke Scruff Dog arena. You haven't seen the rest, Farmer. The other, the live stream from earlier, the TrampCast proper. I I did a quick look from the outside and the in. Um, you can catch that at your leisure. um, but yeah, we're yeah, sturdy tent. Yeah, yeah. You know, even if it rains, I can hear a moth. It's not in the bedroom. It's between the bedroom and the outer, but it's trying to get in for the light. I tried taking the light out and coaxing them away. There's a hell of a lot of moths this year. Last year I don't remember seeing any. This year we've got, well, I can end up with 4 or 5 inside the tent. Uh, Snails last year disappeared. Snails and slugs. When I first arrived in this field, it was full of them. They were everywhere. It was gross. I've told the tale of picking up a plastic glass that had a little lip on on it, and how I checked. I looked at the glass, couldn't see anything. Put it to my mouth. Fucking slug right under that little lip as I put it in my mouth. Nice. But then they just after they did the what would you call them, the land works, the drainage works at the top of the field to divert water away during storms. All of the land dried out, all of the snails and slugs disappeared. This year, snails are everywhere again because we've had so much rain the last couple of months. Well, you've if you've watched my videos, you've seen it. Um, and so now we've got loads and loads of snails. We put the tent up. And the next day, I had to pick 3 snails off of the tent, off the fabric on the outside. Had to. I did. I mean, I picked them off. You can argue about whether I had to or not. I got no idea whether snails would do damage to fabric. I assume not, but what do I know? But yeah, it's the land's been wet. What can you say? We had a hell of a lot of rain. Frank misses the insulated cups at minus 15 degrees when climbing 80 meters up. I imagine they come in handy. One of these has a little thing what you spin and it seals the hole. That's the cheaper and less good one. The Decathlon one, the good one, and it's excellent for keeping stuff warm, but it doesn't have the holes are there and there's no closing them. There's no twisty valve thing to shut them off. So you can't really, they're not travel cups or travel mugs in that way. I've got no idea how thick, I wouldn't know how to judge the denier of fabric. There's a slight issue that it isn't pulled as taut into the corners. The other tent had 3 fastenings along the bottom and 3 along the top to fix the wall to the outer wall, you know, to the main structure. This is only pinned in the corners, 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom, and it's maybe we just need to adjust and pull the corners out of, you know, the main tent, pull them out a little bit more. It's just sometimes difficult to get the pegs into the ground. So once you found a spot where you get the peg all the way down, it seems silly to take it out again and just move it a couple of inches that way. But maybe we'll have to just to try and stop it sloping in quite so much. We shall see, folks. We shall see. Well, waving fingers in front of the. Let's have a look. You guys talking about styrofoam cups? Tom, hello, hello. I love my new house, my new home. Yeah. Okay, Frank's got strong winds nearby. Glass vacuum thermos. They're great until they're not. The first time you knock them or make the mistake of putting boiling water straight into them without putting something mildly warming first to get them warmed up. Otherwise, you can shatter the glass and yeah. Sturdy until the first time you drop them, or pick your flask up and just hear things. What's the word I'm looking for? Clattering about inside. Well, okay, folks. Have we got any topics? We're under orders to bring uh, science or tech or such questions to bear at some point. I've got this the arrow that says, "Hey, click here to get more messages," and there's no more messages, but it's just there covering things. Mhm. I was just reading before. This is touching on politics again, but I'm not into the politics too much. It's the science and tech and industry, I guess. China, China putting a block on exporting rare earth metals, and especially the so-called heavy rare earth metals, which are the ones that everybody. Well, those are the ones that other countries won't mine because they produce too much waste and they're hard to get at and toxic kind of spoilage, whatever, from mining. And the problem for China really is that rare earth metals aren't actually that rare. Um, Rare earth metals aren't that rare. If they say they're not going to give them to anybody else, other countries will just start mining them eventually. Um, or people will find workarounds that these rare earth minerals, rare earth metals, whatever you want to call them, they're they're used in such shrinkingly small amounts in the places that they are used. I mentioned the one earlier today in the TrampCast, um, whose name I can't remember now. It had G's and D's. Its symbol was GD. It's obviously number 64 on the periodic table. Goduminium or something. I don't know. Can't remember. That's how good I am at this. But that whatever you're making, if you're making some kind of steel that you want to use, some kind of steel alloy, whatever that you want to use at really high temperatures, um, you only put like 1% of 1% of the total mass of what you're making is the rare earth mineral or metal. Um, they'll just find other chemicals and other ways around it, or they'll start mining in other countries that aren't China. Now the US might balk at doing the actual mining, and maybe some European countries wouldn't start doing it because of the pollution that comes from it. But they'll find some countries in Africa or somewhere that will do it, or South America. Um, you only need one other country to say, "Oh, go on then," because this stuff isn't rare. They're called rare earth metals and rare earth minerals, I think, because nobody else wants to produce them at the minute. They're kind of everywhere. They're all over the place. Um, but it's the pollution. It's the side effects. The what economists would call externalities. It's the negative byproducts of doing it. But if if there's no other source, and if the price goes up enough, somebody will say, "Go on, then we'll give it a go," and then there goes China's monopoly. They've only got a monopoly because they're the only ones willing to suffer the consequences of these things. Aluminium is, I think it's the most abundant metal, isn't it? Is it oxygen that's the most abundant in the Earth's crust? I think, but it depends what you class as in the Earth's crust. Uh, there was a time that aluminium was the most expensive metal on Earth. There's a picture during Queen Victoria's time. I think Queen Victoria was meeting this Raj or whatever he would be, a sheikh or some sort. He was the leader of the country, and he's got his I'm going to say turban, but I might have that wrong. But then he's got this ingot of aluminium in the middle of his forehead. Uh, and he was doing that to show off how wealthy he was because he could afford aluminium. And this was before, I think it's electrolysis that they used to extract aluminium. So once that process was developed, aluminium became like bountiful and cheap, and it went from being this most expensive thing in the world to something that you put your Coca-Cola in and throw away afterwards without a second thought. Um, interesting how that developed. Let me just scroll back because I'm oh, cyanide leach. Hello, hello. Thomas says let them keep mining and polluting their own backyard. Yeah, but if they turn off the tap and nobody else can get, because these things are used in like solar panels and all this stuff. If they turn off the tap and nobody else can have them, then there'll be a crunch of some form. Um, let me just scroll. Weather science. That's okay. I'm okay with weather science. I'm even okay with chemtrails to an extent. To an extent. They need the exports more. This is true. I mean, the again, bordering on politics when I want to stay more on the. But yeah, they do need the exports. There's all sorts of stories going around about how China are shutting down factories and things already, which to me, seems ridiculously soon. It's like a week or two after tariffs are introduced and the country's collapsing already. That sounds more like propaganda to me than actual. You're running a factory and you hit a hiccup, you don't just start laying people off on day one. You need a month or three for to evaluate whether you can generate new markets, whether you can sell to somebody else who's not doing the tariffy thing. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of these the rare earth metals and rare earth whatevers. And well, any mining has you know, there's always some kind of pollution goes around it. And when it's basically heavy metals, things like lithium, which I mean, people take lithium as a treatment for schizophrenia and depression and things, don't they? See, it has brain altering effects. So you don't want that leaching out into the water supply and what have you, if you can avoid it. Um, so yeah, I don't immediately think America's going to go off and start drilling and mining and going after these things, but I just think that some other country that's got some of these deposits or people will start looking. Maybe a lot of countries have never done the prospecting, the the analysis to see what they've got and where they've got. But I could quite imagine some poorer countries in South America or Africa suddenly discovering that they've got a seam of whatever metal and going after it. And it only needs one, doesn't it? And then America's got a source to buy it from that's not China. So China's got to be careful that they don't push the entire market away from them. I think I said hello, cyanide leech. Did I? Hello, hello. Yeah, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. Yeah. Yeah, the whole try and stay friends with China, don't push them away so that you know what's happening. It's a fair point. Doesn't seem to be one that a certain president is following, but yeah. Frank says there's a reason the USA have other countries make their rare earth minerals. Yeah, I mean it's Karen, hello, hello. I didn't see you there. How long ago was that? 23:31. I don't know where we are. Sorry, Karen said hello, and 5 or 6 minutes later, I'm just noticing. Hydrogen's the most abundant element in the universe and what have you. I don't think on Earth, but yeah, because it's the first one, isn't it? You take oh God, give us a clue: a proton, a neutron, and an electron, and you're there. I think, or is it just a proton and an electron? I can't remember. I think it's just one thing. Yeah, there's the Star Trek episode, isn't there, with one moon orbiting? I think that was Voyager. It might have been Next Generation. Aluminium used to be worth more than gold. Yeah, I think I said, yeah, it was the most expensive metal, which was why whoever the sheikh or the sultan of wherever had it in the middle of his, I say turban, but that, I'm not sure that sultan and turban go together, or sheikh and turban. Don't know, I'm probably being offensive to somebody, I don't mean to be, but Chile is the leader in lithium. Maybe. Yeah, I don't want to go too far off on chemtrails and cloud seeding and what have you. The cloud seeding is a thing, and it is used tactically. I read up on it after the discussion we had the other week, which I don't want to go off on too deeply, but in Spain they use it. So, what do you know about hailstones? Do you know that the balls of ice that fall in winter are not hailstones? If rain freezes in a single drop down, so in a single passage down, and you get just one solid ice lump, ice crystal, that's not a hailstone. A hailstone, the water falls, cools and falls, and then meets an updraft of warm air, carries it back up, and it cools some more. Another warm air draft carries it up, and as it falls, it cools some more. And so you get an accumulation of layers of ice over within the same ball. So if you cut a hailstone in half, you get concentric rings through the middle. Whereas those ones that fall in winter, you don't. Those are just raindrops that froze on the way down, and that's just a ball of ice. It's not technically a hailstone. Anyway, the reason I'm talking about hailstones in Spain, when they detect that the weather patterns are just right for hailstones in summer, and these things are going to fall and crush the grapes and other fruit, then when they see that happening, they might fly the planes in the sky and cloud seed to make the water fall, make the rain fall earlier, or make it fall somewhere else, away from the um, either make it fall away from the vineyards, or make it fall earlier so that the conditions aren't right for that constant updraft taking the and forming hail. Just make it rain. Um, so it is a thing, but I'm not a believer in chemtrails as we've had the discussion a few times, and it generally spins off on one when we do, which is why yeah, I might even have added it as a term not to be. Frank's probably tried posting his message and found it didn't appear, and tried different wording or putting spaces in different places. um, Contrails, the condensation trails behind a plane, that's a separate thing. But yeah, and then we had that story last week about how in the UK they are actually planning on turning a patch of the sky white to change the albedo, which is the rate of reflection of the sun, to do a cooling thing. And of course, the world went mad about how the government have been pushing us all to get solar panels and everything, and then they start blocking the sun. Oh god, I'm gonna have a go at saying sausage roll. Sausage roll. I don't know. Hello. Nice to see you. Yeah, lithium mining, I would imagine, is bad. I mean, all mining can be bad depending on how it's done. But yeah, anything that has that leakage out, and especially if you're talking heavy metals and water, um, has anyone, while we're talking about China, and I'm gonna just take us on a little diversion. I'll do it in a minute. Let me just have a quick look, read through, see whether there's um. Okay, not a heavy metal, but is it classed as a rare earth? I think I don't know. Hello. You say goodbye. I say hello. Oh, don't get me singing. I shouldn't sing because I can't sing. Yeah, but you see, spreading the wealth amongst the people who are affected by mining never happens, does it? This is what economists call externalities. It's like when you buy fast food and the area immediately surrounding has lots of takeaway boxes just thrown on the ground and a lot of littering. Um, it doesn't cost the business anything. It's not their problem. So they make the money and fuck everybody else, and then society has to pay to clean up, pay for road sweepers, bin men, whatever you want to call them, trash collectors. Um, yeah, the business makes the money and fuck everybody else. Let them club together and sort it out. So yeah, more needs to be done so that the cost falls on those, so that those externalities are actually brought internal and become a cost for the business itself. Hail cannons. Talk to me. Hail cannons. I'm imagining like fires that when you make a fire do that twisty thing and you cause updrafts with warm air. But I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to look up hail cannons after. I can't do it while we're while I'm broadcasting. Hailstones go back up. Yeah, it's that it goes up, and as it comes down, it attracts more moisture, and it cools again and freezes, and then goes up, and more layers of ice. Which is why when you cut them in half, you get concentric rings. Layers of ice, yeah. You see, I'm so far behind you. You were probably all saying this contemporaneous with when I was talking about it. Silver was used in Florida to induce rain, and rockets were sent up to trigger lightning. Why would you want to trigger lightning? I'm assuming you're not catching the electricity and kind of using it as like some kind of generator, storing it in batteries or anything. You trigger the lightning just so that you've got rid of it, like off to sea or something, before it gets over land, causing trouble. To guess, I don't know. But rockets, that's interesting. Crush two grapes with one hailstone. Now, for the Brits, there was a guy, what was he called? Ooh, I could crush a grape. That was like his catchphrase on Cracker Jack. Yep, I don't know. I can't remember. Oh, no, it wasn't Stewpot. He was the one after Stewpot. I can't remember. You'd have to watch Cracker Jack. Cracker Jack! Interesting stuff. I need a pronunciation guide, sausage roll, because I can't keep saying sausage roll unless that is correct, but it doesn't sound it to me. But yeah, water vapor, yeah, condensation, yeah. You seem like a scholar. No, God no. Um, I how would you describe my knowledge? It's broad but shallow. I know I know a little bit about a lot of things. Um, my problem was I never learnt to specialize. When I was a kid, do you ever meet those kids that knew what they wanted to be? Like age 10, they know, and I don't mean, oh, I want to be a train driver or oh, I want to be a fireman. I mean kids that actually know what they want to be. They want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a fucking whatever. I I never made my mind up. Hence I'm a fucking tramp. um, what do you want to be when you grow up? Nothing. Okay, here you go. Let that be a lesson to all of you. Um, yeah, no, my knowledge is broad but shallow. Um, I wish I could have focused and gone deep on some topics. Social costs, yeah, externalities is another word for the same thing. Yeah, economists, econom. Okay, people think that economics is is like a pseudoscience about money, but it's not. It's about decisions. Um, when they talk about it, they will say resource allocation, but that just means prioritizing. It's just making your decisions about which priorities matter the most to you and whether people are rational in their decision making or emotional. And all of the economic models used to be about rational. You would analyze things and say, "Oh, this works out best," and therefore that's what people will all want to do. And much to their surprise, that wasn't how people work. Um, yeah. Hold on. Farmer. They put fans in grape fields to stop frost. That makes sense. Also use helicopters. They used to spray orange trees with water, and then there'd be a freeze. That sounds like that would be a bad idea. Stopping frosts by using. So the fans are not heated. It's just keep the air moving to prevent a frost buildup. I assume because heating air is expensive. Crackerjack bloke, Stuart something. There was Stew Pot, no, but then no, there was one after him. A little bit of a gay fella. Ooh, I could crush a grape. I can't remember. If I hear it or see it, I'll know it. But no, I'm okay. The rockets for the lightning was a like a science experiment. I guess. I mean, in cities, lightning tends to go to the tallest point, and you just put lightning rods down. But if you're not a big built up area, then the lightning could go anywhere. It could be kind of random, couldn't it? And in hot places like Florida, fires from lightning, I guess, are a risk. Although it's quite humid, no? Florida's. I mean, I know you've got swamps and shit, but the air's humid as well. So I don't know whether fires are. I don't think it's the same risk as California, is it? Although I might just be showing my ignorance, maybe. Just say sauce. Okay, I'll do that. Is that a euphemism? Sausage roll. Oh, now I'm lost. Sausage roll's a fantastic piece of food, but I don't know. I don't know where we're going with that. Stew Francis. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Karen. How long ago was that? 2048. Again, look, I'm 5 minutes behind you all the way, Karen. I'm 5 minutes behind. Stew Francis. So it was Stew, but he was the guy after Stew Pot as well, wasn't he? So I confused myself into not going down that route. Frank's drinking an IPA. I would love to have an IPA and cider. I'm on Steinberg Classica. Thanks, Karen. As far as I understand it, Steinberg is just a supermarket owned brand. It's Mercadona not wanting to just call it Mercadona's own brand. They give it a fancy name. Where are you, Sauce? Sounds like you're in the UK. Are you north, south, east, west? What are you? The water would freeze before the orange. Oh, okay. Oh, look, Akadaka, hello. He jumped in with the Stew Francis as well. Crankies were on Crackerjack. They were. The Crankies were brilliant. Yeah, that's before she became the leader of the Scottish Independent Party, though, isn't it? Sorry, politics and bad humour at the same time. Jeanette Cranky. Wee Jimmy was he Jimmy? I think he was Jimmy Cranky, the character, but she was Jeanette. And the foreigners are all wondering what we're talking about. So the Crankies are a husband and wife team, but the wife's really short, and she'd come on TV pretending to be a schoolboy with a school uniform and the cap. And the first time I ever saw them, the kid comes walking down like in the theatre kind of thing. It's a TV program, but instead of being on stage, this kid just comes walking down the kid comes walking down the aisle in the like TV studio or theatre, whatever you're going to call it. And the camera and attention's on it, starts talking and gets all the attention. And then the the father comes and they start arguing. It's really loud and then they get on stage and they're husband and wife really. But yeah, it's funny. Or was way back then. Moving air across warm ground is better than letting it sit to cool. Yeah, okay. Famously humid Florida, yeah. Too wet for fire. So what's okay? So what's the problem with lightning then? Like if it's over a big city, a built-up city, then you're gonna have lightning rods on buildings, and you just need them on the biggest buildings. You put them on the top of the church or the cathedral or the tower block, office block, whatever, and you're sorted. And if it hitting just rural areas is not a big deal because you're not going to get fires, I don't know. What's the worry? Does it cause a lot of damage? I mean, obviously, if it hits something, it potentially does, but Frank is an English bloke in a Polish envelope. Okay, sausage roll. Okay, that's yeah. See, Americans don't know what a sausage roll is in general, do they? So it sounds rude. And every now and again, some cook on TV will invent some. Basically, they'll invent the sausage roll, but give it another name, and our media goes wild at them. Whoa, well done! You've reinvented a 300-year-old food that we've all been eating forever, but given it a silly name. Is that Lion Nathan Brewery beer? No idea what that's about. What's about beer, but what's the Lion Nathan Brewery beer? No idea. So our friend Sausage Roll is in Norfolk but grew up in the northeast. Oh, why I man. My dad's from Hexham, which is fairly northeast. Nicola Sturgeon. So for any of the non-Brits, when we were talking about the Crankies, if you look up a politician called Nicola Sturgeon, and you put a picture side by side with wee Jimmy Cranky, yeah, the likeness is stunning. Are You Being Served? Are You Being Served was a classic program. Schoolboy, I think, wasn't he? Oh, Schoolboy's another level. Yeah, okay. I finished the sentence. I got there. Yeah. Um. Yeah, that's just, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, like you said, getting your wife to dress as a schoolgirl is perfect, but as a schoolboy, that's yeah. Lightning can damage a load of stuff. I mean, yeah. I mean, just in the general case, yeah. I just. Hmm. I mean, it's like a mini EMP, isn't it, as well, when it goes off? You've got the stuff it hits directly. Like, do you remember when we were on dial-up modems and then if you had lightning within kind of 20 miles of your house, there was a risk that your 33K modem or 28K modem, 56K modem would just not work the next day. That shit was crazy. They discovered a few years ago, didn't they, that some lightning goes upwards? Well, okay, let me just clarify. All lightning goes upwards to an extent. You've got the potential that the electric potential between your positive and your negative, and and they're looking to meet each other, and they'll go through the path of least resistance, which can be your leg. So the lightning is not just coming down to hit you; it's also coming up from the ground to meet the other to meet the other side. But no, beyond that, a satellite was taking a weather satellite, I think, was taking pictures one time, and something. So from the clouds, something shot upwards, like off into space. Um, and it turned out it was a newly discovered form of lightning. Um, yeah. Okay, Steiny Green, which is like Steinberg. I'm fairly sure this is going to be Spanish because I'm in Spain and it's just a supermarket's own brand. Fabricado por Brewery Martens, Kettingbrugweg, Belgium, Belgique. Kettingbrugweg. I'm going to be butchering that, but Bocholt, Belgica. Who knew? It's Belgian. But it is made. Hold on. Does it say made for? No, it doesn't even say made specifically for Mercadona. Oh, it's got Mercadona's name and number on the can. I still think it's their own brand, but yeah, made in Belgium. You live and you learn until you don't. Hold on. Lightning rods are a cause of problems amongst areas when it's dry, says Frank. Plus, the infrastructure of our telecommunications and electrical interconnections is damaged if lightning were to strike. Yeah, I guess. I'm not a major expert on any of this. Yeah. Are you free? I'm free. Lightning frying your motherboard. That sounds a bit more rare than frying the modems were terrible for it. I never understood why. But this is back in the day when people used to say unplug your TV in case lightning hit the antenna, hit the aerial, um, which is something I never heard happen. Frank was told not to speak of his English heritage because his grandfather was an orphan. Is that the grandfather through which the English heritage came, or was that through one of the other paths? Where are we here? None other 4K. Where are you located? Somewhere near the Mater. Quite near the Mater, yeah. If you go to Torre del Moro and go down the hill towards Torrevieja rather than La Mata, and I'm just at the bottom of the hill near the Repsol garage and Gran Bazar El Zoco. How far behind everyone am I here? Look, I'm way back. There's a comment at midnight. I'm 5 minutes behind. Let me catch up, folks. Lightning sprites above the clouds going to space. You see, yeah, but I remember when those were first discovered. They were like a news headline. People thought it was UFOs, and you know how they do something new we don't understand. Aliens. Um, you've been served a UK comedy show. It was indeed. It was a classic. Mrs. Slocum and her pussy, and John Inman flouncing around. And then he claimed not to be gay, didn't he? John Inman turned after a whole career of being all whoopsie doopsie, and suddenly he turned around and said, "Oh no, I'm hetero." Uh, NordVPN shows you lightning strikes, ground strikes. Really? I had no idea. I've written off kind of VPNs as being not exactly a con, but there must be a hell of a lot of money to be made in that game. Like you set up a server, so all that tunneling, all of that they do through SSL, through HTTPS, all that tunneling. But once you set it up, it's done. So the server that you're going through does hardly anything. It creates the connection and then tells you to go off and do your thing. So setting up one server must be able to handle, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of connections, I would have thought. And then you're charging people what? 15 quid a month or whatever. 5, 10, 7, I don't fucking, whatever the number is. But there must be, the way that all of these YouTubers are being paid to advertise these VPNs, there must be so much money in it. If you can pay Linus Tech Tips to promote your VPN, and that guy's coining it in hand over fist, then you must have so much spare cash as a company that you're not selling your service at a normal market rate. You're making excess profits to be able to pay these guys. Now you might say, "Hey, that's just capitalism," but to me, it seems like market gouging to me. It seems there's so much money going free in that field that yeah, there's so much money there that. Okay, yeah, technically I'm in Torrevieja. I'm this side of the divide. But yeah. Um, you've been following me a long time and you're in Torrevieja. Okay, good stuff. Come see me sometime. That sounds like a song. I've been thanked for a great stream. Yeah, you know, I do what I can. Source. Lightning is useful for reanimating sewn together corpses. Don't tell Mary Shelley. It is just after midnight here. What's the time zone called? Normally it would be Central European time, but it's now Central European Summer Time, so CEST, I believe is the basically we're GMT plus 2 now, or BST, British Summer Time plus 1. It's basically a proxy, yeah. But once the initial connection's set up, the work's kind of done. It's time to get dinner started, says Thomas. Free VPN, you got to wonder about that. That's the classic of if you're not paying, then you're the product. Um, yeah, yeah. They're keeping logs and they're selling your data is what's happening if it's for free. And even if you do go with a paid service and they say they're not keeping logs, how do you know? Um, Cockney Rebel, come up and see me sometime. Indeed, I couldn't place I couldn't get the name. Jack Attack in the house. Okay, Inman remained coy for many years but admitted he could be bisexual. You see, I remember news articles saying outright that he was straight, and it'd been a bit of a sensation at the time. But that would be around the same time that Butch Wilkins, hold on, Ray Wilkins, wasn't it? Nicknamed Butch in the England football team. There were all sorts of stories went around that he was gay, hence the nickname Butch as a sarcastic, you know, like Little John in Robin Hood. Little John was the big bloke, so you give people a name that's the opposite as their nickname. So Butch Wilkins was allegedly not so Butch. Here we go, Jack attacking his dad jokes. Oh, I've lost one there. Hold on, I've got to go back now to work out what someone's referring to. No, I can't work it out. I'll skip it. Where am I? Where am I? Frank needs to go and cook some dinner soon. Yeah, we've got a lot of the big Clive and Scruff Dog crew in the house tonight. Well, a lot by my small channel standards. Ray Wilkins equals Nookie Bear. No, that was Roger De Courcy, wasn't it? Or am I missing a joke? Maybe. Who's the one with no name? What's good, Mike? How are you? Who said that? Why have you got no name? Just to confuse me. Yeah, all good. All good. New tent. Life's looking good. Tidying out things, sorting things out. Nice, pretty quilt cover on the bed. Oh no, I'm waving them. I'm waving. Here we go. I've only got one. I've only got quilt cover for the top one. Keep it pretty. And then I went and showed you the manky one underneath. But yeah. Oh, Ray Wilkins looked like Nookie Bear. I guess I could see that. What's good Mike is his name. Okay. The comment was okay. Who pays for free VPN? Okay. I'm caught up, I think. Wow, okay. That won't last. That won't last. Okay, folks, did we take any tangents from tangents? Where can we backtrack to now that we've cleared some of that up? That one's nearly empty. Oh, I've neglected the coffee. Windscribe VPN. And how much do they charge? I've no name. The man with no name. Clint Eastwood, yeah? Yeah. Is it Pale Rider? It's basically he's death, isn't he? Is that the coffee Karen brought you? Karen's brought me many coffees many times, but this one I made myself earlier. This is the cup Karen bought me, but that's a different question. I'm sick of having to touch this screen to bring the chat back up. Oh, where am I going? I was going to tell you about China. Oh, okay. Whoa, well done. Well remembered. China. So, allegedly, China, population 1.3 billion, yeah? We've all heard this lots and lots. Allegedly now, they've been overtaken by India with 1.4 billion. And yet, there's a theory that China's population might be as little as 300,000. When they're judging the populations of these countries, especially these, let's say, underdeveloped. I could have said backwards, but I won't, although I just did. 300 million. Yeah, 0.3 of a billion. Where within the UK are you from? I'm from Barnsley originally, and then we hopped to the Pennines, and I lived in Morecambe for a while, which is why my accent is difficult to place. You can tell that I'm a common northerner, but multiple conversations going on there. Man with no name. I went with Pale Rider because he's death. He rides the pale horse, which is death in the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. My name is Nobody. Yeah. Oh, Nemo. Again, Captain Nemo. His name was literally Nobody in Latin. Watching from Manchester. Worked in Manchester at Raleigh Keys, Customs and Excise as it then was. Film Nobody. Do I know that one? Summarize the plot of Nobody, and I'm thinking something's ringing a bell, and I can't get there. Nobody. Anyway, going back to China. So when they're looking at these countries, they estimate populations, and especially in rural areas. And someone did some research a while ago. So when a dam gets built and people literally have to move away, then you find out the actual number of people in that area because they all want compensation for new housing or whatever. So you get an actual figure. And when you compare the actual figure against the estimates, they're off by a factor of Christ knows what, 2, 3, 5. There are so many fewer people in some of these rural areas than the estimates, the models use for predicting. And there's a woman, oh gosh, I only read about this 2 or 3 weeks ago. She's been arguing for ages that these models are off by loads and that we're massively. So pre-COVID, we were massively overstating China's population. And then she argued, so she said that the true population would have been 800 million at that point, rather than the 1.3 billion. But then she said, China's the COVID death rate in China, all the data's been suppressed and you've not been told the truth. And that when you talk to people, everybody knows loads of people that died, especially out in these rural areas, which is where the majority of the population are when you look at the country as a whole. And she's arguing that if it was 800 million then, and then you had massive deaths, it could be as low as like 3 or 400 million now. And she's a proper real scientist. She's not just some crackpot. Now, her figures are disputed by all of the companies and academics that make the models that produce the disputed statistics. But Yeah, it's quite possible China's got nowhere near the population that people think. Let me just scroll back because okay, worked in Manchester, yeah. If Saul Goodman was John Wick. Oh, I'm out of the loop there somewhere. Thomas thinks he's seen the same YouTube channel. I don't know whether it was a YouTube channel or whether it was one of these science news sites I might have been on. But then I think later on I saw someone discussing a similar thing. So yeah, possibly a YouTube channel. Source: the lemon subsidies in Sicily. The amount of subsidies claimed means that the island has to be 3 times bigger. Yeah, yeah. We're a family of 90. You have to compensate all of us. Yeah. Um, but suddenly, when they build a dam in the middle of China and people have to climb on the wagon to be driven away from the area, suddenly you get accurate figures or semi-accurate. Oh fuck! I was about to report Jack Attack with that double click. I'll get you next time, you bugger. Hold on. I was in the middle of reading. I was reading Jack Attack's joke to see whether it was. How long does that go on? Fucking hell! Oh, It's not a joke. This is the. Is this is a summary of that film? Is it the Nobody thing? Okay, hold on. Oh, now I need to go back and read it seriously. Two thieves break into a home. Hutch decides to defend himself or his family, hoping to prevent serious violence. Aftermath strikes a match to Hutch's long simmering rage, triggering dormant instincts and propelling him on a brutal path that will surface dark secrets and lethal skills. Fists, gunfire, squealing tires, Hutch must save a family from a dangerous adversary. Who's in it? It sounds like that one with oh, is he Norwegian? No, that doesn't sound right. There was the one where the guy had to stop some thieves or something, and then the press printed his picture, and it turns out he was a mafia type guy that was in hiding. And I can't remember the name of the actor. Not everything is a dad joke. This is true. This is true. Bob Odenkirk, Christopher Lloyd. I don't know what a Bob Odenkirk is. Christopher Lloyd, I know. No, it doesn't sound like one I've seen. I might have to look that up tomorrow. Might have to look that one up tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, the China, I don't know. I don't know how, I don't know. Going for 300 or 400 million sounds a bit extreme, but I could believe that the figures that we've been given about the Chinese population are off by a margin. Oh, garrotting my testes again. Oh, um, and a lot of our fear is maybe not the right word, but a lot of our um, hesitancy with China is that we think, oh, that many people, their army will be huge, and don't mess because how can you compete? But if their country's a fraction of the size, if their country's only a quarter of the population of what we think it is, or even just half what we think it is, Um, um, they hide them out in the what? Who could if they're off by 1 billion? It's the rural stuff though, and then you've got the COVID factor. What if the deaths were massive? Because despite them being, what are they now, the second largest economy in the world, but they're still a backwards nation, really. Um, we're literally giving them like subsidies and aid. We're still giving them aid, despite them being this second largest economy. Um, yeah, I'll have to click that link after or tomorrow. Yeah, this is the thing. Yeah, a lot of these countries just have never really had proper registries for births, marriages, deaths, etc. Um, and population gets exaggerated when the amount of subsidy that you're getting, like from central government, depends on the size of your population. It's in that region's interest to overstate their population. So where there's an incentive for action, you will find action going in that direction, won't you? I mean, that's just obvious. We had that in Torrevieja a few years ago. I don't know how many of you know. Well, a lot of you have got nothing to do with Torrevieja, but in Torrevieja, the amount of money that the city gets from central government depends on how many people sign up on the what's called the padron. It's what the English call the padron. The Spanish call it empadronamiento, something like that. It's basically the think electoral register. It's the register of people in. Now it used to be that when you wanted to buy a house or an apartment, they would make you go off the authorities when you want to get your 5 bits of paper stamped with red, with a red stamp. Um, they would make you go off and get on the padron. And then a few years ago, they started threatening everyone that was on the padron who didn't actually live here full time that they were committing fraud and that they were gonna do you. Get that? They're the ones that when you went into the town hall and you wanted to do something, they said, "Oh no, you've got to do this. This is one of the critical steps," because the town hall, or ayuntamiento in Spanish, um, they they get their funding from central government based on those numbers. So all of these people that were buying holiday homes, all of us Brits and Norwegians and Swedish and whatever, who were buying holiday homes but not living here permanently, should never have gone on the padron. But they made it so you had to. And then when government found out what they were doing and started threatening them, then they start threatening the people and saying, delist yourself or you're going to be done for fraud. Um, so wherever my point, going way back, my point was where there's an incentive to action, you will see a tendency towards that action. So where the council here saw a benefit in having as many people as possible sign up on the padron, suddenly you had lots of people signing up on the padron. And I would imagine a similar thing with Chinese. They're not going to be cities, but whatever regional hubs they have, they've had 50, 60, 80 years, whatever it is, to um, keep pushing those limits, keep pushing those numbers, keep expanding, but without necessarily really expanding. The government wanted to be able to say they'd got a huge population, and each region wanted to take whatever money they could. Um, that's my theory anyway. So yeah. Actually, I've never watched any of these Breaking Bads and Better Call Saul. Seen a few clips of the Better Call Saul on just like shorts on YouTube, but I was never interested in things about druggies and drug dealers. I don't watch films like The Godfather and stuff. I've no interest in mobsters either. Um, I can't I can't make them be the good guy in my head while I'm watching the film. I don't want them to be the good guy. I don't want to sit there ending hoping that he gets away with it because fuck him. Anyway, I don't even know who these people are that you're talking about. Isn't Padron a tapas dish? Don't think so. It's a register with the local council or town hall. Well, it's the English word for empadronamiento, because empadronamiento is a mouthful. I'm lost with the conversations that are going on here, folks. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. One of your favorite films, says Sauce. It's an okay film. I enjoyed it for what it was. Oh, Thomas's cooking got turned on the kitchen fan, or was. Hold on, how far behind am I now? That was at 12:31, and it's currently 33. I'm only two and a half minutes behind. That's not bad by my Datsun. Get this, I owned. What did I have? I had a Datsun Cherry. No, never drove it. Someone bought it for me, and then I got in a car crash in my driving lessons. I didn't get in a car crash. Someone else got in a car crash. A lorry crash, actually. Well, yeah. Yeah. Lorry drivers. I don't know. Oh, it's found its way in. The moth is no longer on the outside of the bedroom, it's on the inside. How annoying. I'm not putting up with that all night. I shall either have to catch him and get him outside or apply the fly spray and then listen to him dying in agony for an hour or half an hour. What's those fried chilies called? You're going back to Padron? I've got no idea. Fat green fried chilies. I don't know. I don't know the names of chilies. No idea. Oh. Will he not fly into the? No, it's got too fine a mesh around it. It's more for mosquitoes and small flies. You see it from here, maybe. Oh, there, the purple thing there. I don't think the moth will get through those plastic ribs. Oh, next topic, folks. Next topic. What do we got? You're all talking amongst yourself about TV programs I know nothing about, but Fly Into Your Light Killer. That makes it sound like Black Lightning. Black Lightning, was it? Yeah. Um, what was that called? When all of those superhero TV programs on the DC side of things, they all merged and they all had crossover episodes, and it was the end of everything, and a whole multiverse collapsed into one verse, one universe. Um, Black Lightning, Supergirl, all of the arrows, and the guy that can run a bit fast. Flash is the guy that can run a bit fast. Yeah, all of those programs, and they all had a like a calamity. Like there was Crisis on Infinite Earths and whatever. It all got a bit silly. I quite enjoyed the first few seasons of Supergirl, but then it all just got a bit Speedy Gonzales. I got there. I got it. No, not Speedy Gonzales. The Flash was the guy that can run a bit fast. Which, I think I've said this before. The first time I ever heard of the Flash was at the Big Bang Theory, when Sheldon and all the others all put on their costumes. Never heard of it before that. Never seen it, knew nothing about it, didn't know anything. It had never been a TV program in the UK. It had never, as far as I know, it had never been a comic of any wide distribution. Like when I was a kid, and you could get Iron Man and Spider Man and all these others, Batman's and all of these. Flash was just never a thing. No idea. So I was what? How long ago did the Big Bang Theory start? That's probably 15 or 20 years ago now, is it? The Silver Flash guy from the X-Men. Silver. Don't know. Oh, like hold on, you mean like the Silver Surfer? No. No, probably not. Ah, 2007 Big Bang Theory. How old would I have been? 39, nearly 40 when I first heard of The Flash. So there you go. That's how on top of these things I am. Um, I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to call up the reserves. Oh! I'm sorry. I'm grunting while leaning over right next to the microphone. And I won't open the can right next to the microphone. Here we go. Cheers to you guys for being here. Hanging out with a tramp. I mean, what got into you? What do you people think? Quicksilver. Hold on. Oh, everyone's coming in with it at once. Wasn't Quicksilver the one, the Russian one? No, hold on. What was he called? The Red Witch. What that whole Marvel turn of events that I never really followed. Then there was Wanda and all that. Was that not? Was he not Quicksilver? The brother of whatever the powerful witch girl was called. I'm rambling and gibbering, folks, because I don't know comics that well. I enjoyed the Fantastic Four cartoons as a kid. Spider-Man, obviously, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Batman, you know, I wasn't I didn't pick sides with Marvel and DC. I just liked specific characters and TV shows and comics. So I remember Iron Man wasn't a primary character. You bought like a Spider-Man comic book or whatever, and Iron Man would be the filler story. He'd be you'd maybe have a first Spider-Man story and a second Spider-Man story, and in the middle there'd be some Iron Man. Batfings, my wings are like a shield of steel. Your bullets cannot harm me. My wings are like a shield of steel. Yeah, Batfink. I remember that. Let's go off on kids' TV then. Undercover Elephant. I take your Batfink and raise you an undercover elephant. Was he blue? Big blue elephant, but no one could recognize him because he'd got his little mask on. Inch Eye, Private Eye? Hold on. Yeah, Inch High, Private Eye. That was another one. Or Secret Squirrel. Oh, Batman with a pow, kaplunk, kabam. Those were all good. The Adam West. I still say Adam West's Batman is the best Batman. I don't care what anybody says. Adam West's Batman is the Batman. The 1989 film was good with whatever that guy's called, Michael something or other. Why can I not remember his name? Rocky and Bullwinkle. Hong Kong Phooey with the striped cat called Spot. Yeah. See, nicknames and things that are the opposite. We said about Little John and Butch Wilkins. Trapdoor, don't you go below that trapdoor. There's something down there. Yeah. Willie Rushton was it Rushton or Rushton? He was phenomenal. He was a polymath, wasn't he? He was just a wit and raconteur and just very funny and very knowledgeable. A lot like Stephen Fry. Willie Rushton was the Stephen Fry of his generation on programs like Celebrity Squares. Yeah. Did I ever watch Trapdoor on acid? I've never been on acid, so it would be difficult. No. Michael Keaton, yeah, of course. Fuck. 1989. I was in London at the time. My little brother came down to visit, and we were going to go see that together. But I was in work all the time, so he was left. What was he? Hold on. 89. I was 20. 13. Little bugger was 13 and on his own in London all day. Like 12, 13, 14 hours a day. He probably had the time of his life. I think he went and saw the film. You could argue the soundtrack was the best thing about the film, but I could never say that. Inspector Gadget, go Gadget, whatever, Gadget legs, Gadget. What you got that Gadget cock? Yeah, okay. I guess. If there's anybody new out there and you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, you might like to think about it. I'd like you to think about it. If you haven't subscribed, why not? It's free. Anybody I missed? Rocky and Bullwinkle. Yeah, was it Canadian or American? Rocky, I guess Rocky Mountains. I don't know. But Bullwinkle is a moose, so I don't know. Secret Squirrel was Dum Dum. That was the partner. Was he a dog? I got a white dog in my head, and I don't know why. Okay. See, we're just going to go off now on kids' TV and stuff, aren't we? Which we banana splits. 1 banana, 2 banana, 3 banana, 4. 4 bananas make a bunch, and so do many more. Wurzel, Gummidge, yeah. Pob, and then he writes his name on the. There's a glass on a train. Back when trains had compartments, if I'm remembering right, but I might not be. See, next we could go off on one with rainbow, but the Americans are all going to be lost. See, they have Rainbow Storytime, which had Geordie LaForge in it, didn't they? That's a different thing. We had George Zippy Bungle and whatever, I can't remember. Zippy Bungle, George, and whatever the bloke was called. And Rod, Jane and Freddie, the original Bungle, before his voice changed. Jeffrey! Jeffrey! Yeah. Okay. Have you seen all of the parody ones that they did? And it is them doing it. All of the rude ones, the more risque ones. Sooty and Sweep and Sue. Don't forget Sue. Yeah. Basil Brush. Boom, boom. I'm trying not to be just British. I'm trying not to be British centric. The foreskin. Foreskin. Ulysses 31. Let's go Ulysses. That's probably the greatest theme tune of any kids' TV program. Ulysses 31. They took the story of the Odyssey and transported it to like the 31st century, but still with all the Greek gods and Greek mythology. It's quite an undertaking, really. George and Mildred. That's... Robin's Nest. I take your George and Mildred and raise you at Robin's Nest. Whatever happened to Richard O'Sullivan? Is he still around? Still alive? That was a spin-off, yeah. And the Americans got that as well. They had their equivalent of George and Mildred and the spin-off. And I can't remember the name. Yeah, you had Man About the House. Man About the House. George and Mildred was a spin-off. And then Robin's Nest afterwards. The Americans had that with what was John Ritter? So the Americans out there, John Ritter, Three's Company? No, was it? John Ritter and the two girls, because I enjoyed watching the American version of some of these things, and they had those programs, and yeah, and a lot of Americans don't even realize that they're English originals. Three's Company, yeah, okay. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that they're what would you call them? Translations is the wrong word. Fucking moth. Yeah, that is a moth. I thought it might have been a big mosquito, but it's not. It's a moth. Love Thy Neighbour. Which one was that? Love Thy Neighbour. That's not Alf Garner. Love Thy Neighbour. I know the name. I can't place the program. Tristram. Yeah, the lad from the well-to-dos next door. Okay. Oh, have I ever told you I was called the professor at school by the teachers? Yeah, no. On the Buses was good. Oh, didn't she die? Oh God, Olive. The woman that played Olive died a couple of years ago. She burnt to death or seriously injured in a fire and then died in hospital. But she had a face for radio, didn't she? Um, Likely lads, yeah, okay. You see, careful not to just stick to the British or English programs. We have got an international audience here, folks. Um, I watched I watched the American version of Alf Garnett not long ago, and I can't remember what they called it, but Alf eating cats. Yeah, okay. Incredible Hulk. That was a good one. Can you hear that? Somebody running around all flat-footed and stompy. Jack Smithhurst. Don't know what a Jack Smithhurst is. Most of them can be found on streaming services. Yeah, Chips, California Highway Patrol, with Punch, whatever his name was. Oh, a couple of days ago, I had this conversation with someone, and I knew, and Eric Estrada, wasn't it? And one of his partners, not the original one, but one of the ones later on, was the world speedway champion, and they wouldn't let him ride his own motorbike when it came to filming stunts and things. But he was the world speedway or ex-world speedway champion. Miami Vice, Tubbs and Crockett, and don't forget the alligator. Name the alligator. Or name the boss man that went on to become a Dharma. Well, or the movie remake of Chips. I think I saw it. They're like when they do these one-off movie isn't the right format for it because you only get the one story, and they then have a what's the word I'm looking for, guys? Where people a cameo when the old actors come in and are just like sat in the background or something. They go to a restaurant and Eric Estrada will be on the next table, whatever. Because they did the same when they did the Baywatch movie. You had The Rock being the Hasselhoff character, and then you had the Hoff came in and yeah, and also they did Dukes of Hazzard film as well, didn't they? They ever go Hollywood? No real imagination. One person has an idea to remake a certain genre or a certain type or things from a certain period, and suddenly for the next 5 years, all you get are remakes of films from the based on TV series from the 70s or 80s. Starsky and Hutch, they did a one-off film. Um, that moth. My fly spray isn't in here, is it? I don't know where it is. I don't know where things are at the minute, folks. After emptying the tent and bringing it all in again, I'm trying to be more organised. We all know how that goes. Trying to be organised. Does anybody remember when Miami Vice was on and yeah, it's Don Johnson, wasn't it? And stubble became like all the rage. And you could buy a razor, but you didn't need to put the guard on for it to not work properly, for it to leave stubble. And they were selling it and calling it a Miami device. Well, that was clever marketing. Of course, this was the same time that dealy boppers were invented, and everyone was running around with silly little springy things on their hat. Don't spoil it, Mike. What am I spoiling? All of the movies. Avoid remakes. They're best avoided. They don't add anything to the to the history of the of the original material. They don't add anything usually. You get your exceptions. The Battlestar Galactica remake was possibly better than the original. Although I do like the original Battlestar Galactica series. Well, MacGyver, now you're taking the piss. The original MacGyver was good. Yeah, I hope you're not talking about the remake, Farmer. MacGyver was great. But Night Court, never seen it, heard about it. It had what's he called? The big bloke, John, played a lawyer in other TV programs. John Lewis something or other, or John Duss something or other. Don't know. Who was the fucker on the horse with the Texan hat? Where are we going? On a horse with a Texan hat. Married with Children I enjoyed. Although, you could argue it was the first, I think it was the first comedy where the male is always like an idiot or an asshole. You could make the argument that that period was the beginning of the denigration of men on TV. Although he gave as good as he got, I guess, overall. But Farmer, okay, MacGyver was the original. I did watch the remake, and it's kind of watchable and entertaining, but just not as good, because it all has to be a group activity now, and there has to be a black man and an Asian girl and you can't just have this one bloke. You can't just have MacGyver. He has to be part of a team. There has to be girls involved, and there have to be people who aren't white. And if it was a new story and it was a new thing and it was a group of people and that was the case, that's no problem. But taking an old existing story and shoehorning these check boxes in, I object. See, the remade Magnum, I thought that was all right. They also remade, what was I just thinking? Well, not remade, they turned it into a series rather than a set of films. Lethal Weapon. And I was enjoying it. And after, like, I think series 2, was it? Season 2? They had to replace the main guy. Because he was a bit handsy with the ladies in real life behind the scenes or whatever. Allegedly, I will state allegedly, but I was enjoying it. The Fall Guy, yeah, Lee Majors. He's still we've done this conversation once already, I'm sure, probably over on Scruff Dog or something. Yeah, I think I asked whether Lee Majors was still alive, and he is, isn't he? Yeah. Because the Bionic Man as well, don't forget. Kung Fu, Grasshopper, and all that. Yeah. Picking up the pots, the hot metal or whatever, and picking up with the forearms to get the not tattoos but the burns, the McLeod, and then McLeod and wife. Wasn't McLeod? It was the same actor that was with the dolphin. What was the program with the dolphin? I can't remember. Come on, American, like Skippy, but with a dolphin. Like the bush kangaroo or Lassie. like Lassie or Skippy, but with a dolphin. Clipper, not Clipper. That can't remember, don't know, but it was the same actor. Team Knight Rider, Jack Attack says, yeah, that was a classic example of them having to have a team and they're having to be, you know, all the check boxes. Oh, McLeod on the horse, is that where you were going? Okay, well done. Yeah, he had the boots and the hat, yeah, like a cowboy cop. Um, and then there was a spin-off, wasn't there? McLeod and Wife? Or was it just Mrs. McLeod? A lot like Columbo did with Mrs. Columbo, or whatever that was called. It didn't last long. Don't remember that particular scene. Tell me the name of the girl. Married with children, the teenage, the daughter. Um, she was a babe. How do you watch Lethal Weapon? Oh, I'm live, apparently. I'm live. How long was I gone? Did you notice? How do you watch Lethal Weapon? Would love to watch. Sail the High Seas. That's you get a piece of software called Flood that downloads torrents, and you get another piece of software that searches for torrents, and away you go. Airwolf. That's okay. Stringfellow Hawk. Possibly the single greatest character name ever. Stringfellow Hawk. What a name. Then again, Jan Michael Vincent's not exactly a an easy flipper. I got clipper. You see how close I was. Okay, look, and how far behind am I now? Look, that was at one. Those were exactly on one. I'm 4 minutes behind at the minute. Let's. I had clipper. The brain just doesn't work. Ernest Borgnine. Did you see the interview when he was really old and people he's like in the news studio and they're asking him how do you stay so mobile and so virile and and he says I wank every day and then he shakes the bloke's hand and you're like I know where that hand's been, go away. Wasn't it a killer whale? Oh, I don't know. I thought it was a dolphin, but TKR was crap. What's a TKR? TKR. Maybe I'll get a Team Knight Rider, TKR. Yeah, which suffered from all of those issues that the programs. Once it's not. So who remembers? Oh God, now I've forgotten the name of it. Street Hawk, the man, machine, Street Hawk. It's one man on a motorbike. Okay, he's got one man back at the base with a supercomputer and stuff, but the story really is about it's about that one person out there making a difference. In fact, that was the tagline of Knight Rider, wasn't it? One man can make a difference, said Admiral Nelson at the beginning. Admiral Nelson from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, or Journey to the Bottom of the Sea, whatever that was called. The actor's real name was not David Hedison, because that was the captain rather than the admiral. Come on, the voiceover at the beginning of Knight Rider is an old bloke, and he's the Knight Foundation. But what was the actor called? Admiral Nelson out of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Christina Applegate. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Skippy. Yeah, we all loved Skippy the bush kangaroo. Now are you talking about the 60s or 70s version or the remake that they did in either the late 80s or the 90s? Because they took that kid off of Neighbours and had him do it. Oh, now we've got stuff happening here. 0.2 sec said Jack Attack, and I've got no idea why. And I'm looking back to see if I can get a. Oh, was that how long I was gone? Macmillan and wife. She let me call her Christine. Airwolf season 4. What was bad about it? That's not when they replaced him and St. John came back and it was Dick Van Dyke's son. Dick Van Dyke. He was in Battlestar Galactica 1980, whatever that was. Barry Van Dyke? Yo, the other thing he was always in was with his dad in that, what's the hospital where it's always a mystery and Dick Van Dyke and his son are off solving it. Diagnosis Murder. Fuck. Look at that. I'm still sharp. I've still got it. Diagnosis Murder. Fuck. Night, Karen. Thanks for coming. Thanks for stopping by. Devon Miles, the bloke, the old bloke that was Michael Knight's boss in the Foundation for Law and Government. That's not who I was thinking of about One Man Can Make a Difference. Oh, look up Admiral Richard Basehart. Absolutely, there you go. Look, and how long ago was that? Does that say 106? I'm only 3 minutes behind now. I'm catching up, guys. I'll be with you in a minute. Yeah, the Irish actor, but he played like a stuffy Brit, a stuffy Englishman, really. With the Devon Miles was the character. Yeah, I wrote this at 11:07. Yeah, it says just above, but it says it really dimly in it's like a dark grey on dark grey. Yeah, you're all asking what was he called. I've already answered. Yeah, Devon Miles. Here we go. Real name, I can't remember. Edward Mulhare. Good God, yeah, well done. Yeah, Edward Mulhare, that's right. Did you remember that, Jack Attack, or was that, are you Googling? Flag, the Foundation for Law and Government, yeah. answering comment. Garth, that was was that the truck? That was the truck version of Knight Rider. The like supposedly a prototype. Okay, remembered. Well done. Okay, the evil Mike. Yeah, yeah. Didn't it turn out so? So Michael Knight took the name Michael Knight because supposedly there'd been a Michael Knight and he was dead, except he wasn't, and he ended up coming back. Moonlighting. I loved moonlighting back in the day. Um, Moonlighting. Bruce Willis's start, as far as I know. Yeah. I never saw him in anything before that. Sybil Shepherd thought that this was her vehicle that was like gonna reignite her career and then this cocky, arrogant young actor that's got the flippant lines becomes the star, and she wasn't that happy. And then he went off and had pop hits. He started singing, didn't he? Under the Boardwalk and all that. And then it was announced that this stupid comedy actor from Moonlighting, who'd had a couple of hits with some old jazz songs and stuff, the next thing you know, oh yeah, they're going to do this action film, and it sounds ridiculous. It's about this tower block that gets taken hostage, and that was Die Hard. And that was his acting career took off. His film career took off. Night Industry 2000 kit, yeah. Night Industries wasn't it? Was it not automated roving robot? I thought for car. Night. I'd have gone with automated roving robot, but I don't know where I'm pulling that from. It could be my derriere. They actually didn't like each other. Yeah, well, I think it was that she. I don't know how much it was that she didn't like him. She didn't like him becoming the star and getting the attention. It was supposed to be her, the vehicle to relaunch her career, really, and it ended up launching his instead. What was she left with after that? A TV series called Sybil, and I've got no idea what she's done since then. Who knows, folks? Who knows? I think I'm up to date, aren't I? There's no. Have we got any tangents? Have we got anywhere that we could have broke off and gone that we didn't? Or did I go off on one and never come back? That's always a common one. Richard Basehart. I've mentioned before they're remaking all of those Irwin Allen sci-fi series. Is it Journey to the Bottom of the Sea or I think it's Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. But I think they'd made a film called Journey to the Bottom of the Sea before that. Something like that, anyway. They're remaking that. They've already done Danger Will Robinson, Lost in Space. That's already been done. They're going to do... What was the space wormhole thing called? Time Tunnel. Space wormhole. Yeah, Time Tunnel. They're gonna redo that. And Land of the Giants, which I always enjoy watching. That's the plan anyway. They're planning on remaking them. Whether it actually happens or not, who knows? But I hope they do. Although the originals are still good, but most of them have got a season or two in black and white before colour became a big thing, which makes it a little bit more difficult to watch. And they're all in the 4:3 aspect ratio, which when you watch them on your phone and you're watching a postage stamp in the middle of your screen. So yeah, doing them in a modern aspect ratio. What is it still 16:9? Is that still the done thing, or have we gone beyond that now? I don't know. I hate it when people talk about an aspect ratio of 18:9, because that's just 2:1. Just fucking you gotta bring your numbers down. You gotta go with the lowest common denominator and 18:9, my ass. That's 2:1. Now, you've just given me a thought. I'll just check that I'm not ignoring people. Oh, wow. How far back am I? Hold on. When's that? There's a whole load of messages appeared that weren't here. Bruce, okay. Why did it not let me know these were here? Back on track, Captain. Okay. It is Journey to the... No, hold on. Okay, Voyage was to the center of the earth. Journey to the bottom of the sea. That was quite a program, because they did the so obviously they're in a submarine, but they did a vehicle to come away from the sub that could also then take off and leave the water and go flying about. And it was a solid wing thing, shaped a lot like the Cylon, ships in Battlestar Galactica. But we have got things that can do that now, that can come out of the water and fly. Kirk Douglas and another actor playing two old criminals. Tony Curtis, maybe? What, Kirk Douglas? Oh, hold on. Oh, I don't know. I had half an idea it won't come to fruition. 16:9 is still movie aspect ratio. What about TV nowadays? What's the aspect ratio of a we used to call them widescreen TVs when they first came out. Circus Acrobat, I believe he was. And then he played one in a film. Trapeze artisty thing. Did I take a drink? Jack attacks waving beer at me. I don't know whether I took a quick swig without mentioning it. Cheers, folks. 2.25 hours in. Am I on all messages? It's not called that here, but hold on. What is it called? Oh, live chat. All messages are visible rather than top chat. Yeah. I'm on Tough Guys. It wasn't the one called something like City Heat? City Heat? What was that one? I don't know where I'm getting that from. Saturn 3. I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus. Yeah, see, there's something that they remade, didn't it? They turned that into a TV series. You can't beat the original. He only just died, didn't he? Was that last year? Was he like 101 or 103 or something? So how old is Kathy Jones's husband then? Michael Douglas. I'm guessing 25 years younger than his dad. Makes him 80-ish about now. Streets of San Francisco, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. With Carl Malden with the schnoz. I'm Spartacus. Let me get back down to the bottom. Well, I was about to go off on a tangent when I noticed asparagus. Burt Lancaster. Are you saying Burt Lancaster lived to be old, or you're throwing Burt Lancaster out as the actor and then saying he lived to be 105? Kick Duck's 103. Wow. Now we're getting different numbers thrown out. We're saying Quincy and Carl Malden. What's the link? Quincy was Klugman. What was he called? Jack Klugman. The Odd Couple, yeah, way back in the TV series version. The film was Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, maybe. Oof, don't know. Going off on one there. Columbo, such a great detective who discovered a continent. Stupid, I know. Yeah. Anymore. And I was does anyone know what tangent I was about to go off on about? Because now I can't even remember. Just one more thing. That was the great thing about Columbo, was that you knew who did it from the start. You'd watch the thing for 20 minutes before you even saw Columbo. No, it wasn't. It wasn't the aspect ratio thing. It was. I had a thought, and I was going to go somewhere with it, and then I thought I'll just check chat, and there's a load of messages there, and it threw me off on one. Guys, okay, you got there with your answer. Was it? I don't know where I was about to go, folks. I lost my train of thought entirely. Interesting. I do that a lot nowadays. This was written in the past. Indeed it was. 110. That was written 12 minutes ago. And I didn't see it at the time. Yeah, that was the Knight Rider conversation, and just after. Okay, folks. I don't think anything's gonna. Oh, was it when I was on about Kathy Jones? No, it wasn't. Kathy Jones is my shorthand for Catherine Zeta Jones. I just think calling her Kathy Jones makes her sound a lot more normal. Kathy Jones, boyo. Automan and Cursor. Yeah. He's an acting coach now rather than an actor. The guy that played Automan. Manimal with Simon McCorkindale. Not Ottoman, Automan. If you could make a computer, it was a lot like Weird Science, wasn't it? Imagine if you could just take a computer and add more power to it. Oh, I'll tap into like the police national computer, and away we go. And yeah, more power, and suddenly this man appears, and he can make cars and helicopters, and the car can turn at 90 degrees no matter how fast it's going. And it had Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. It had their son in it. Was he called Desi Arnaz Jr.? He might have been. He might have been. Katie Zeta-Jones, yeah. I would have gone Kathy. Nowadays you'd go Kat, wouldn't you? Everyone's Kat now. Nobody's Kate or Catherine or Kathy. We're all just Kat. Sneakers. Which one was Sneakers? Was that the one where people's heads exploded? No. Sneakers was the No More Secrets. No More Secrets with Robert Redford, and Dan Aykroyd, and whoever else. Probably one of the Belushis. I don't know. No More Secrets. I'm fairly sure. Oh, yeah, Robert Redford. Yeah, good film. My voice is my password. Verify me. Something like that. That was a phrase from in there somewhere. What have we got going here? She called me singer because I went like a sewing machine. Only while she's got a foot on the pedal. Sidney Poitier, yeah. What's his? Hold on, what was it? The first film I saw with him? with the murder, and he's sat at the train station, and they arrest him just because he's black, and it turns out he's a cop. It's that whole "Call Me Mr. Tubbs" thing, isn't it? But it's heat, not heat of the night. Maybe somebody will have answered by now. Tubbs, heat of the night. Yeah, okay, there we go. That was it. That was the original one. I think I got the right name. And then we had it over in, I don't know how international this was. Then we had To Sir with Love. Was it To Sir with Love? I think so. With Lulu and a few other people. Kathy, someone or other. And he was the school teacher in London. And then, 40 odd years later, maybe 50 years later, they did a sequel. To Sir with Love 2 or whatever it would have been called. Yeah, talk about an uncalled for, and it was quite good. I enjoyed watching it. I'm slating the idea of it. It's a lot like Top Gun 2. Everyone said nobody wants that, and then it was I've got no idea what BJ and the Bear is. I don't think. Although BJ has connotations, if that's where you're going. Not Side the House Rules, unless it was. Educating Rita, maybe. I'm gonna go with Educating Rita. Yeah, okay, there we go. Did I get there first or not? Yeah, I enjoyed. That was a good one. The original Italian Job with all the minis running around. Good car chasey stuff. You were typing it, saying it. Yeah, I. Where did I get the Cider House Rules from? Is that another Michael? I don't know what that is. It just the name came to me, and I don't know how or why. I've got no idea what that is. Doesn't sound right now. No, you don't know that film. What was the one? Speaking of Michael Caine. Hold on. Who was in Sleuth? Was that Laurence Olivier and Michael Caine? Or was that the one with? There's one like that, and then there's a remake. And then there's another one similar. Was it Michael Caine and Superman? Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve. Something like that. I lose track. Dead Poet Society. That was Robin Williams, wasn't it? And getting all the kids to stand up on the desk. Who else is still here? We've gone quiet. Give us a shout if you're still here. I think the numbers are dropping. We're coming up on 2.5. Don't we bagged Matt Damon and Morg from fucking Orc. That's what's that one called? Good Will Hunting. Oh, you got there before me. Bugger you. Let's keep it going. Yeah, you just got to keep chipping in and keep the conversation going. If I find that there's just me and one other person talking for kind of 5 minutes, then it gets a little bit more tricky. But I'm open to it, folks. I'll go another half hour at least if we're. I don't believe I've watched Brokeback Mountain. I don't believe that the content would be up my street or alley. Um, not the other. Dead unspeakable thing. Jack attacking his on with the dad jokes. Not everything's a dad joke, he says. Jay and Silent Bob. That's the bloke that cries all the time now, isn't it? That's the bloke who what was the program that he did He-Man, and everyone said, oh, everyone's going to be lesbians. The woman's going to take center stage. He-Man's going to be nowhere. No, 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 you got it all wrong. No, that's not what happens. And then it was exactly what happened. He-Man gets killed in like episode 3 and isn't in the rest of the series until the last episode. And it was all about what's she called? Man at Arms' daughter. Can't remember her name. Taylor, Layla, Leela, something like that. And her lesbian girlfriend. Up your alley, up your back alley. Kevin Smith, that's him. Up your Kirstie Alley. Kirstie Alley was a babe. She-Ra, that was the. You see, this was why you didn't need to make He-Man into a girl story, because they already had their own girl story version with princesses and rainbows and fucking, I don't know, whatever it is that girls like. Although you're not allowed to say that girls like this and boys like that, are you? You're not allowed to even hint at that anymore, otherwise you get cancelled. Did I take a drink already? I thought I'd picked up the can and not drunk, but I'll oblige you with a cheers. Into the Wild. Never heard of it. I don't believe. Born Free, with all the lions and stuff running about. I watched. Xena, Warrior Princess, and what was the Kevin Sorbo one? Hercules must have been. Norm. Cheers. Yeah, I get it. Have I told you that I went in a bar in Boston and said, no, I didn't go in a bar. I was at the bus station, sorry, in Boston, and I said, I just said cheers to someone as a thank you, and they all stopped and turned and looked around at me. Did you say cheers? And I was like, yeah, thank you, cheers. And they thought I was referencing, because Boston is where the bar is in the story. But yeah, I got some funny looks, and I didn't even put two and two together. I said, "Cheers!" As get on a bus and pay the driver. Cheers! Get off the bus. Cheers, mate. Yeah, cheers is that's my word for just thanks. Bye. Whatever. But yeah, I did. I said it in Boston, and they all looked at me. Do you know? Have I said this one? When you get off the plane at Boston, whatever the airport is, I was going to say O'Hare, but that sounds wrong. But when you get off the plane and you want to go into town, you get on the bus and the driver won't take your money. You have to get to the bus depot and then you pay for the journey that you've just had and the one that you're going to go on. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. I knew it wasn't right. But what is Boston Airport? Obviously, I've been there. I had the unfortunate thing of the fucking cubicles with the 2-inch gap either side of the door. The fuck are you guys doing with that shit? I want privacy while I'm having a crap. You might as well not have the door there if people can just look in. What are you doing? Boyston Airport. It's a bit like Luton Airport. Hey, you, Luton Airport. Lorraine Chase, anybody? Chevy Chase's sister. No, what? Guy starved on a bus in Alaska. How did we get there? Into the Wild with Harrison Ford. No idea. I mean, I know who Harrison Ford is. He's been in some crap films at times as well, though. I mean, I'll be honest. Including that last Fletch. Fletch is going underground. Yeah. Did they was there ever a sequel? Did they ever do a second Fletch film? I'm not sure. Won't spoil it. I had never heard of Ashington until tonight. It keeps cropping up now, doesn't it? Yeah. Of course, Boston's in Lincolnshire. You Americans don't really know this. Boston's in England. Like most of your place names, to be honest, but except for things like Chattanooga, and we don't have any of those over here. What's the other one that Al Murray takes a mick out of? It's got lots of QUs in it. Quick. Albuquerque. Yeah, Albuquerque. Yeah, we don't have that over here. But Boston's and York's and Jersey, all of these places. Anyway, enough of that. Let's not go. Great suggestion from Thomas. What did Thomas say? Into the Wild. Aye, that fucking song. Is that a Luton Airport reference? We're going quiet, folks. My app isn't. I need a tangent to go off on, folks. What have we got? I did have one earlier, and I was right on the cusp of going off on it, and I stopped to check chat, and that was me done. I lost the thread. I've also got an almost empty can. Where are we? 2 hours 38. I don't know what that translates to in real world. 20 to 2. Okay, folks, we'll give it another 20 minutes. To the top of the hour and the 3 hours on the American movies. I was about to say about Harrison Ford's last stinker, which was Indiana Jones and the fucking whatever of whatever. Indiana Jones and the girl boss. What's she called? The BBC Two comedy series about the girl taking it up the ass that I almost had it. Fly, something fly. Something fly. Come on, somebody tell me. Suddenly she's everywhere, like rewriting the James Bond film and helping a rewrite and then starring the Indiana Jones movie. Fleabag. It was Flea, not Fly. Fuck. Do you see how close? Do you see how close the synapses get, but they just don't fucking quite get there, do they? Fleabag. And her name is a triple-barreled something or other. Yeah, definitely Thomas. There's something out there just stopping us put it all together. It's a deliberate, it's a plot. It's the aliens, I tell you, it's the aliens. I had no idea Harrison Ford had done a TV series. But I guess they're all at it now, aren't they? Kevin Costner and all that, yeah. It was an insect, no problem. Yeah, flea, fly. What's the Phoebe Waller-Bridge? Fucking yeah, Waller-Bridge. I mean, firstly, there were no fucking Phoebes when I was at school, and we didn't have double-barreled fucking surnames either. I'd never heard a double-barreled surname until I was about 40. Now they're everywhere. Waller-Bridge. And I bet Waller is spelled like Waller, a person who builds a wall, a dry stone waller. So why it's pronounced Waller and not Waller? The fuck? Yeah, Phoebe, you got me there though. You got me. That's all I need, a little clue just to get me halfway there. I've said this, it's like I play charades with myself. It's like I'm trying to give myself a fucking clue half the time. So it is spelled just like Waller. It's not Waller anything, it's Waller. The person who builds a fucking wall is a waller. So a Waller bridge. So what? Walls on top of a bridge or bridges in walls? I mean, well, am I listening to this moth or is it Tina? I got movement against some fabric in the tent. And Tina's asleep and maybe twitching. Or it might be the moth on the outside of the bedroom. Don't know. Nothing serious. Bridger, yeah. Or just construction. She can be like Phoebe the Builder. That's still double-barreled, the Builder. But you know, middle name of there's precedence for that. Rupert the Bear and all that. Bob the Builder. See, lots of people have got the as a middle name. So yeah, she's a waller, not a waller. Oh God, no, don't go there. Waller, that's a word, isn't it? Oh, okay. I'm not. I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna cut that avenue off there. Oh, baby boys' names. You gotta go with Stringfellow, no? Peregrine. I've met a Perry out here. I've met Perry, and he is actually a peregrine. I don't think that works in Spanish. I don't know. Gorm. I told the story about how I met Gorm. I don't know how many of you were here for that. Jack Attack probably was. So the English word gormless, and everybody questions what the hell is gorm. Why is someone who's stupid said to be gormless? What is gorm and why does lacking it matter? But I've met Gorm. I am that man. I met him. Obviously, like all the greatest interactions in life, it happened in a bar. I've met a Roderick. No. Oh, God. Okay. Should I say the full name? I was at his wedding. Dugald Roderick Sperry Lamb. There you go. That is a name not to be messed with. Dugald with a D on the end. Dougaled Roderick Sperry Lamb. Yeah. Guy I was at uni with. And yeah, I was at his wedding. And nobody knew the middle name. We just knew him as Doug. We didn't even know the fucking Dougaled part. He was just Doug Sperry Lamb to us. So when we're there for the wedding and do you, Dougaled Roderick Sperry Lamb, take this woman, we were all just in fucking hysterics. We were gone. We were, fuck yeah. Um, I'm guessing if you were like looking up on the internet or something, I'm guessing you're only going to find one of them. You're not going to find more than one fucker with that combination of names. Harrison Ford is a terrible interviewee. Yeah. Oh, did someone say my trying to probe for an entry point? Don't say that. I've put the mouse traps away in a drawer, like a utility drawer. Put them away for later. Tina is twitching, so there's a good chance it's her. She's down next to the wall. But there is a moth in here somewhere, so I'm kind of hoping it's the moth. Don't say mice. But yeah, Harrison Ford, when he's interviewed, he doesn't give a fuck. He's contractually obliged to be there as part of however many millions he's paid per movie, but he doesn't want to be there, and he lets them know he doesn't want to be there. And in particular, if they ask anything about Star Wars, he just does not give a flying fuck. He sees himself as being way above that shit. And that's just terrible. Other names, other boys' names that you might run with. Yeah, me and the wife used to joke about some of these middle name type things, Farquharson and stuff, or Farquharson, however you want to pronounce it. We used to talk about building Peregrine Farquharson and then splitting my actual surname into two halves and yeah, making it double barreled just by putting a hyphen in the middle of my real world name that I will not divulge here, but some of you do know. I don't know what that Agnes Singer comment is about. I don't know who or what that would be. Jones the sheep shagger. And then Jack Attack obliges with a picture of a sheep. Gorm is a superb name. It is, and it's from Pure Way, isn't it? I don't know if you know any, Thomas. But the bloke was Norwegian, and apparently the English word comes from a Norseman, a Viking, a Day, I don't know, someone up that way. He was the leader of the tribe, bloke called Gorm, and he ruled wisely and was productive, and the tribe prospered. And after his death, the leader was an idiot, and the tribe kept making the wrong decisions and losing their battles and going to battle when they shouldn't. And people said this tribe was gormless, lacking in Gorm. Gorm is now gone, and now you're rubbish. You were good when you had Gorm in charge. Now you don't have Gorm, you are Gormless. So English people often ask, what does it mean? What Gormless? What is Gorm? It's not a thing, it was a person. So yeah, I don't know. Legendary Danish king, there you go. Spelled Gorm, yeah, Gorm. And then the English word Gormless, to be without Less on the end. Yeah. Now we're off with, okay, there's Dougaled. I had a feeling there was a U in the second half of it as well, but maybe not. Gollum, that's not a good name. You don't want to be Gollum. Not unless you've got a Precious. Never. You knew A. Tom Jones and he had to ring A. Des O'Connor, but neither of them were those ones. Oh, God. Yeah, no, I got a tale, but I can't tell it. To do with when I did some work in the NHS one time. Alberto and Federico, or just Frederick and Albert. Have I told you this? Tina's real name when I got her was Albertina. All one word, like a female version of Albert, Albertina. So I guess it would probably be an Italian diminutive, like little little Alberta, Albertina. And I abbreviated it, truncated it, and she's been Tina ever since, even on the paperwork. But yeah, originally she was. Now I'm getting comments I don't understand. You should ask for Delilah. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Tom Jones should call Delilah. I was reading Delilah Sauce like it was all one name, thinking who's Delilah Sauce. But yeah, you're talking old sausage roll there. You should call Delilah. Why, Delilah? Yeah. No idea what a Vincent D'Onofrio is. I'm not being conned into saying something rude, no? There we go. And then the follow-up comment just makes me wonder. Didn't give me a reach around though. Okay. Thomas met Jesus, or Jesus if you wish, and his Bolivian girlfriend. I remember a story about 20 years ago, a baby being born, that they had called Jesus or Jesus and was declared dead and taken to the morgue, and 2 hours later was found to be alive. And people wondered. This is about the turn of either side of the millennium, can't remember exactly, but yeah, a dead Jesus coming back from the dead. But so the newspapers run with it, obviously, because in England you would read that name as Jesus, but in Mexico, Jesuses are kind of ten a penny, aren't they? It's a common name. Whereas in England, nobody's called Jesus. You don't. Lots of people are called Christian or what, but you don't meet any Jesuses. Um, Josephs and Marys, they all exist, but Gorm, the old first known king of Denmark. Didn't know that. Thank you. New knowledge is always good. Okay, Spain memories. Adam, Mel, both of you, one of you, who, what, when, where, and how long ago? I'm on 155 now. That message is at. Oh, I'm only 4 minutes behind, folks. I'm only 4 minutes behind. You're going to suggest Gorm what as a name? It's a good name, good strong name, Gorm. And then you can never be called Gormless, can you? Thomas has just finished eating at 10 to 1. It's a good time to eat. I had some food just before we started. Up far too late, says Adam, if it's Adam. Full Metal Jacket. Do I know that one? Full Metal Jacket. It's going to be Vietnam, isn't it? But I'm not sure that I'm not sure I'm familiar enough with it to. Jesus. Yeah, that was Die Hard 3 or 4. 4, I think. Jesus. No, it's Zeus, you mother. Okay. Oh yeah, Thomas isn't Thomas really. Just like I'm not a Delta or a Mike, but there you go. Plenty swearing with Jesus or Jesus, whichever. Oh, Mel's in the UK. Okay. Hopefully for good reasons, not like some kind of family emergency or something. Hope everything's okay with you both. Law and Order as well. Lost. Socrates Plato uses his real name. I somehow have my doubts, but it's not impossible. Are you Greek, perchance? I got someone running nearby on this side. Possibly in the field. Hopefully it's further away and just carrying further than it should. Hopefully it's just... What time is it? 2 o'clock in the morning and someone's out for a run. Maybe they're like me. Have I told you about the Gallon Gallop? I think I've mentioned the Gallon Gallop before. Go out on a Friday night. You got to drink at least 8 pints, and then you have to run. And I was at a bar that's more than a mile from home, and then you got to run home after 8 beers. Yeah. Hold on, guys. My eyes are itching a bit. Oh, yawn's starting as well. I did say we'd go to the 3-hour mark, and we're about there. But if we've got topics to go, we'll go on. If not, not Greek, but like it. What? Like you're in somewhere similar to Greece, or you just mean you admire Greece? You might mean that you're like in the former, what's that called? The Macedonia, the former Republic of Northern Macedonia, or whatever it's. I lose track of the. Do you have this problem, folks? Okay, here's one. So many countries change names that all the names of countries that you learned as a kid and they don't even exist anymore. Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, and some of them have changed names after they've separated. So you had the Czech Republic, which now wants to be called Czechia, I believe. And you had the Slovak Republic, which is Slovakia. And I can't even keep track of after they've renamed and then they rename again within 5 or 10 years. Should Sausage Roll do a stream sometime? Definitely. Everybody should do a stream sometime. Everybody should be a YouTuber. Moussaka is good. Okay. Likes Greek cuisine. Socrates, Plato. So you do them in order, don't you? They spell spa as in a health resort. Socrates taught Plato, who taught Aristotle. That was the order. From memory. Hold on, what has Jack Attack said? Tea lips on my organ. Oh, God. Could be. Running at 2 in the morning is a strange thing to be doing. Fell off your dinosaur. Go out. I remember asking my mum once, oh God, you know when you're like 6 or 7 and you're learning about dinosaurs and you're talking to you talk to your parents as if they lived in the olden days. And I did the classic, did you have dinosaurs when you were young? Yeah. Yeah. Former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. North Macedonia is more accurate, says Thomas. Probably, although there's politics in there somewhere, isn't there, that you can get into arguments easily if you get involved in any of that. Philip and Alex. Alex the Great. Breaker of the Gordian knot. Constantinople. Oh, mine's gone blank. Turkey, isn't it? Orient Express and yeah, can't place it. I know what you're on about. Stuff changing names. Yeah. Oh, stretch my legs. Maybe not slouch so much. I've got a bad back at the minute after all. Shouldn't be slouching. Then again, I should probably be sleeping. Well, I'm going to have to call in reinforcements for the reinforcements, folks. I'm pushing back not just on the bedroom, I'm pushing back on the tent fabric there now. Let's have a look. Oh, empty, not empty. There we go. Oh, sorry about that. I got my tablet on to charge and the wobbliest of connections disconnects and reconnects and does its thing. Looks like we're keeping going beyond the 3-hour mark, doesn't it? Although we might need a topic or two to talk about. Did I get that? I don't think I did. Flies, folks, flies. I made a mistake today. Well, because I was doing TrampCast. I had both doors wide open, no nets or anything. And I left them open a bit too long. And this is why we've got all the moths and the flies in. Istanbul, yeah, God. I'm terrible, aren't I? Political. Okay. I missed the cheers. Sorry, Jack Attack. And I didn't say cheers, did I, folks? I was too busy just opening a new can. Where's that going? I don't like seeing little flies because there might be actual little flies, as in fly is mosca, little ones is mosquito. I don't like little flies because they might not be just little flies. Is Gorm a better name than Alexander, Dexter, or anything else? I still go with Peregrine myself, but that's just me. Or Stringfellow, I am a fan of that one as well. You don't meet many of those in the playground at school. Back when I was at school, not that I'm hanging around playgrounds. Don't go there. Gorm, I think Gorm's a good name. When he goes home, he can always call the rest of the group Gormless then, can't he? Okay, our friend Sausage Roll's got to go. Got to get to bed. Okay, you're up all night with Rob Worrell. After Scruff Dog, you carried on doing something else, yeah. So you might even have gone by now. If I'm far behind, that says 05. Oh yeah, wait, we're 3 minutes behind. I'm 3 minutes behind. Alejandro with a J, isn't it? Alejandro. AM when you got away. Wow, okay. What were you doing? Gaming or something? Or just talking music? Peregrino is Spanish for pilgrim. Really? Do peregrine falcons travel far? Is that a connection? Why would that be? That's interesting. Engelbert. Wow. The original one from like the 16th century or the 1960s and 70s one that failed at the Eurovision. Engelbert Humperdinck. Catch you later, sausage roll. Peregrine is. I'm going to go with Peregrin. Peregrine. That's where I'd go, but that's a guess. But I think it was written. Someone's already typed it properly. Maybe. No, maybe not. Peregrine, and in short, it's Perry. Peregrine with a. Oh, okay, you were talking, just chatting shit with Rob. Okay. Reggie Perrin, there's a good name. Reggie Perrin. Just don't commit suicide. Don't leave your shoes and socks by the sea. Okay. I'm trying to think whether I've got any other topics, science or technology related. But I don't think I do. I didn't have time. There wasn't much time. There wasn't much time in between the ending of the TrampCast proper and the beginning of the hangout. I don't feel like I had. There was maybe a couple of hours, and I was busy grabbing food and drink of water and walking Tina and I don't know. Oh, I had to go in and mess about with the stream afterwards, like reset to the bloody thumbnail and enter a few details that. Yeah, as soon as when the TrampCast finished and it shows me my thumbnail and some stats about the stream, it showed me my default thumbnail, my head in the middle of a circle, rather than the thumbnail that I'd already uploaded 3 times. So just to make sure, and then it just showed me a blank thumbnail within like the admin interface. So I went in, edited the stream. I have to add it to the playlist after the event. I can't add it before. So it doesn't go down as a TrampCast until after it's finished. And then I can add it to the playlist and add a few tags, which the YouTube player app doesn't let me enter those tags. When I create the stream, you can't enter tags. Yeah, it's all just a mess. I'm going to stop moaning about the YouTube app. We all know my feelings on it. Yeah. Peregrine, there you go. Was that close? I think I was somewhere in the area. Peregrine or Perry, Perry, isn't it, for short? Wasn't that the Harry Enfield and whatever the last was called? Were they Kevin and Perry? I think so. I can't remember the last's name. Harry Enfield sketch, and they did films as well, didn't they? The two, Kevin and Perry Go Large or something it was called. No, it's sausage roll. Default just now. Really? Because I used the TrampCast one. Oh, which one do you mean? The this one or the TrampCast Hangout or TrampCast proper from earlier? Not sure which one you're getting at, Jack Attack, and I'm going to scoot to the bottom. It was Kevin and Perry Go Large, yeah, okay. But Perry is a diminutive of Peregrine. Is that Socrates Plato leaving, or are you saying goodbye to Sausage Roll? Default just now. Round grey haired, a piece of shit. Honestly. I recorded a video of step by step and gave it them on a plate. And all they do is accuse me of not having the most up to date version, not restarting, not blah, 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 blah. I can't be the only person this is happening to. It's just ridiculous. Probably the only one shouting at them and calling them names. Okay. If we're going to carry on, folks, we're going to have to do the call of nature thing. So, what I will do, I will give you all 2 minutes and you got to come up with some topics. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck. I'm going to mute the microphone in 3, 2, 1. I'm gone. And I'm back. And half of you have left. Good choice. Good decision. Oh. Okay, folks. Where are we? You can hear me again okay, yeah? Grey-brown background. Spend a penny, indeed. Siphon the Python. Catch you later, Socrates, Plato, if you're still here to hear me. Really? Did they have a connection with it previously? Is that why? Or the Savoy nightclub Glasgow is 50 shortly. Kevin and Perry are coming up. Huh. Fatma, you're still here all the way through, or have you come back? You go away. I haven't seen you in a while, have I? Or maybe I've just not been paying attention. I'll scroll back a ways and don't see you. Maybe you've just been in lurker mode. Oh, when you said no connection, I started looking at the YouTube app. You mean no connection with Kevin and Perry? Okay, that's fuck. You got me worried there. I thought I was offline or something. Away from keyboard for a bit. AFK. I only learnt that acronym a little while ago. After all my years on the internet, 1994 to now, so just 31 years, and I don't think he was doing it deliberately. I think it was just confusion because I asked if there was a connection with something. He wrote no connection, and found a cheap Chilean red in the cellar, a bottle of wine. Oh, do you know? Josie and Peter that dropped stuff off with me on Thursday, and Josie was in the chat earlier and made the donation in TrampCast proper. She made the donation. They left me a bottle of. Oh, I've had enough of this shit. If I can grab him, I'm just gonna grab him. Little moth. They left some red wine, and I left it on the floor in a shopping bag over there, in front of the door, and it's been in the shade all day. But then, of course, the sun gets around a certain point. Hot red wine. That's possibly ruined. If not ruined, it'll need drinking. I should have had it tonight, really, shouldn't I? I should have cracked that open instead of beer. But I didn't think. I put it out the outside. Once it got hot, because the sun was round this side, I stuck it outside, but the top of the bottle was actually like not just warm, the top of the bottle was hot. So that's probably ruined that. Wait, where did we get to? Okay, the type of music is possibly why they're coming up to that nightclub. I don't know what half of that is. Dance trance with GBX radio. Yeah. George Bowie. Beer and liquor never been sicker. Yes, this is one of these rhymes like don't mix the grain and the vine. No, grain and then vine, you'll be fine. Vine and then grain, pain, something like that. Before, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Grain before vine, you'll be fine. Vine before grain, you'll be in pain. something like that. Liquor before beer, you're a what? Okay, no, I didn't say that. Liquor before beer, that's just going backwards, isn't it? Why would you start on the harder stuff and then move to the soft? That's just doing it wrong, in my humble opinion. We have a Norwegian equivalent. That's the only reason to go from the hard stuff to the weaker stuff, because you're pissed. Oh, another comment and I can't see it. I hate the way Brahms and Liszt, yeah, Cockney rhyming slang. Oh, here we go. I'll have a go at pronouncing this. Ulogvin den Urfin. Ulog Vin. Vin is obviously wine. Then you're fine. Ale, then wine, then you're fine. Something along those lines, yeah. Okay, and then the other way round, and you're cruel. Crow. Ooh, oh, eh. Ooh, ah. Whatever those vowels are. Og. I don't know og, but yeah, you guess. I mean, I got the ale and wine. Then you're fine. Vine, then ale. Det blur cruel. Crow. Det blur. Den and det. I don't know, but you guess you get the general idea, yeah. Pick out the odd. You only need to pick out 2 or 3 words in a sentence, don't you? That's how I've lived my life. Of course, as long as if you miss the 1 or 2 words that are like not or something, you know, that invert the entire meaning, that can leave you that can leave you lost. Want to make a mess? Okay, yeah. A store or a drink called Crawls. Don't know that one. Decent try. Yeah. You lose me with the vowels. You all of you Scandis. But you've got basically there are 3. Well, my Swedish friend told me 3 vowels that we don't really have in. It's the oo, and it's the way he told me was imagine you've been kicked in the balls, ooh, and then you go like why oh, who, how, what, when, and then it was like the her, she did it. So you've been kicked in the balls. Who did it? She did it. Ooh, something like that. And yeah, Svenska, as they would say in some places. Sverige. I think that's Swedish for Swedish. Yeah, you see, that's just. Yeah, you get the O with a line through it, and the Swedes put 2 dots above, and I think that's for the same sound. But when you say it's A-E, A, ooh, ah, that, yeah, I don't know. I can't pronounce the A-E and the O-E. I wouldn't know how to pronounce those even written that way. Accent. Oh, accents. Yeah. Accentigo. No. I did have a look once when I had Duolingua. whatever it's called. I had a look at Norwegian and Swedish, and a lot of your words are very similar. In fact, a lot of the words are the same, but your grammar puts things in a different order and a different way, and your pronunciations are different sometimes, and it lost me. But then I was trying to learn's not the right word, but I was just inquiring, I was just investigating it, but trying to look at two different languages. It's like trying to learn two new languages at the same time. It's never going to work. But I wasn't seriously trying. I was just looking into it. Somewhat halfway vowels. Yeah. Carpe diem, Mike. Seize the day. I always seize the day. And then I seize the beer. Where chat. It's bollocks, isn't it? It's bollocks. Okay, we must have some new people just joined us because the numbers have gone back up a little bit. I mean, there's not many, but a little bit. Thumbs up, folks, if you would. Thought it was getting karaoke with the ooh ah, just a little bit. Ooh ah, just a little bit more. Ooh ah. It's not Jessie J, was it? Jessie Gina G. That was a Gina G. Maybe. Not the. Yeah. Gina G. Okay, yeah, I did get there, but I don't know why I went with the other girl first. Walla Walla Ting Tang. That sounds very Eurovision-y. I was about to say to everyone who's new, hello, hello. You are just watching okay, they just left. You are just watching a tramp in a field. And you're most welcome. I don't know why you're here or what you think you're going to see. Neither do you, maybe. That's why the numbers are fluctuating. You're nipping in, seeing what the score is. I am a homeless Englishman, stranded by circumstance in Spain. And you are most welcome to join us in this, whatever this is. It's just a hangout. We're all just chatting shit. If you think of a topic, you think of a question, if you think of just a random thought, like someone asked earlier about boys' names that would work maybe in English or Spanish, or just that are interesting names. And we went off on a whole conversation about Gorm and Gormless. That kind of thing, folks. I'm here for you. I'm here for the conversation. You see, look, when people who know languages start talking to me about things and said, then it's just situational and it's just a regular vowel, and you just put the past participle on the top shelf on the left, and then you, I was going to say conjunctive. That's not right, is it? Do you see what I mean about me and languages? What is it you do with a verb? You conjugate a verb. Fuck. Oh, yeah, no. And then you do a declarative statement with the something infinitive. Yeah, conjunctivitis. That's where I was going. Yeah. And then tell me whether it's gerund or gerund for words that end in ing. Running, swimming, jumping. Gerund or gerund? Is it hard G or a soft? Because I don't know. Grammar, and I got as far as verbs and nouns. Once you got to adverb, I understood, because adverb, you're modifying a verb with an adverb. Jump high, run fast, whatever. Okay, fine. Why, when you modify a noun, is it not an ad noun? Why is it called an adjective? If it was called an ad noun because you're modifying it, I could have seen the link, the pattern, okay, the red bus, the blue bus, the fast bus, the whatever bus. But no, it's not called an ad noun, it's called an adjective. I don't even know what that... What is what's an adjective? I mean, I know what it is because I've given an example already, but the word doesn't actually say anything to me. Adjective. You're ejecting something. You're adging something. It's not no link here because it doesn't mean anything. So it took me till I was about 30 to learn it when I should have learned it when I was 10 or whatever. Okay, the AE is a like the abrupt ah. See, in English we have two alphabets. When we're learning to speak, when we're learning the alphabets as kids, first we learn a, b, k, d, f, etc. And then we're told, oh yeah, but these same letters also have a second sound. A, B, C, D, E. So you have what we would generally call like the baby alphabet and then the proper alphabet. And so you learn to say things like abacada efagaha ijakalama na opakwa rusata upva ux z. And you do the alphabet in like 3 seconds. But it's not the real alphabet. It's not the ABCD grown up one. Okay, the O with the line through is more of an like word, or the E in verb. Okay. Yeah, this is where you see my friend told me that something like that anyway. But yeah, that was the Swedish version of it. Got a fly bothering me. So that even though you're using two letters for it, it's an ah, not an ah. It's interesting, but it won't stick. It won't lodge. I'm no good at any of this. Taste the Venom, Edinburgh, Scotland. Just subbed. Thank you very much. I don't know why you would do that, but thank you. Cheers. Hey, Edinburgh. Yeah, indeed. Morning Venom. Oh, Jack Attack's still here. He's Glasgow. You like your words. What do Swedes know? They can't talk right. Okay. It's funny. The guy I was talking about earlier that took the piss that came here wanting me to help him, even though I'm the homeless fucking idiot. He he switches easily between Swedish and he's Swedish, but he converses easily with Norwegians. He might get the odd word wrong or whatever, but he makes himself understood easily enough. And a lot of the Norwegians here can't really do the reverse. When they're speaking Norwegians to Swedes, they'll generally converse in English as uh, a language that they both have in common, as a second language that they both have. Use your right words. I was lurking, you seem interesting. I'll soon change your bloody mind. I seem interesting. I guess I can be interesting at times. It depends what I'm prattling on about. My life is certainly it certainly took an interesting turn a few years ago. But yeah, enough of that. I get all maudlin or Magdalene if you want, but maudlin. I met the outliers. Okay, you're going to say that they're okay. That they're the ones that are mostly mutually intelligible. So you okay. So normally you can understand and make yourselves be known. Maybe because the people that retire here tend to be older. Maybe that's a factor. I don't know. I don't know how long you guys as countries have been like your governments or whatever made a deliberate decision to push for English as to be taught in schools or whatever. I know you get English and American TV, which different forms of English. Um, I don't know. I don't know to what extent it's planned education by government, or to what extent it's just people picking it up through osmosis, through culture, through music, through films and TV. Oh, I got the hiccups. Live chat again. I have to bring it back up. It disappears. What's all this Goblin King stuff? Is this? It's not the jocks having a go at each other. No. The fly. How did we get to the fly? You say the fly to me, and I think David Hedison, who was also in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea as Captain Crane. I think Crane. You work in the mental health sector, so you take interest in people's lives. Yeah, I get a lot of people taking interest in my life. A lot of assumptions. Oh, you're a tramp, therefore you must be druggy, alky, psychotic. None of the above. Don't get me wrong. I like a drop. But I can do without it when I haven't got it. I'd rather not, but I can. Beer cures hiccups. It also causes them. Oh, the fly that was smothering me a minute ago. That's how we got to the fly. Okay, I get you. I didn't make the connection. See, the synapses don't always fire in the right way. Taste the Venom's on holiday. Excellent. It's a bank holiday this weekend in Spain, I believe. So we had St. George's Day, a few days ago, didn't we? 2, 3, 4, 23rd. Would that have been Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday, whenever the hell that was? And they've got their equivalent here in Spain. It was either today or tomorrow's a bank holiday, a red day, whatever they would call it. I don't know whether that's local or not, but when they had a major battle here between the Moors and the Christians, St. George was said to have appeared as a shining bright figure during the battle, and that's said to have inspired the Christians on to rout the Moors. And this is the. Do you like whiskey, Mike? I do. Usually without an E. It's usually the Scottish one rather than the Irish. I don't know if that was a deliberate spelling. But yeah, you're not here judging in any negative capacity. No. I told the story the other week of the couple that was walking past on the track here, just as I was setting off for the supermarket, and my dog can't really walk, and this was back. We could just get to the supermarket and back, but we overtook this couple, and then I had to tie the dog up, and they went into the shop right behind me, and as I went in, you go in between the tills, and the first aisle right in front of you has got the beer. And I was doing a proper shop, but I was getting a case of beer, and I picked it up first, so it's the first thing that goes in my basket because it's the first thing on my list that I'm passing. But this couple have walked behind me, and I thought they looked kind of English-ish, but yeah. As soon as I picked this case of beer up and put it in, she goes, "See, I told you." So they've been discussing me as they've walked past. Tramp must be bloody alky. I get to the shop and I'm just in front of them. See, I told you. That's people. That's Schlante. That's that's Scottish for cheers, isn't it? Or not Scottish, Gaelic. Yeah. Do a cheers with Pepsi. Out of rum and whiskey. Hold on, it moved. Everything else. Oh, that's very careless of you to allow. Oh, you just have a shot of Sambuca left. Okay. That's careless to allow yourself to allow the supplies to run so low. Whiskey followed by a Scotch pie. I would have gone with the Scotch egg, but okay. Oh, now we're throwing around slang or whatever's. The first one looked more Irish than Slante Machach. Where am I? I've lost my place because I scrolled back. Whiskey followed by a Scotch pie. Slangevar. Collection of over 100 malts you buy at auction for investment purposes. Okay. Oh God, shall we get into the Nick Ricata story? American lawyer, small town lawyer, but a very good legal educator called Nick Ricata. Rekieta. Ricata. Ricata Law is a channel on YouTube. Big into his whiskies. And his live streams would go on for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. A little bit like this one looks like it's doing. But he's reviewing whiskey. And people are all accusing him of being an alky and of being this and of being that. And sometimes he did end up quite drunk. But then this one day he disappears. He says he's going to the loo and he comes back like 45 minutes later. He's left everyone hanging on. We're just looking at an empty chair on the camera. And he comes back with a white powder all over his nose. And from that moment on, his life has never been the same. His house was. The cops basically bust down the house with a search warrant a week or so later. Turns out that him and his wife have been swinging and they've moved a lady in that they're calling the nanny for the kids, but they're all in bed together. The nanny and the nanny's husband, and it all gets a bit messy. But he gets done for drug possession. But it all started with the whiskies, with the malt whiskies and the expensive ones. He'd buy 150 and 200 quid, $500 whiskies. He bought a $500 one once, got outside and it slipped out of his hand and just broke on the floor. But yeah. Salud, Prost. Kippis, that's Finlandia, isn't it? Finlandia, Kippis with my mate Ismo. Cheers, that's my one. What's the one that the Spanish have? Arriba, abajo, something else, and then adentro. So it's up above, down below, something, and then inside. Yeah. Yeah, we used to have a lager actually called Skull in England. I don't know whether it was English or not, but a Viking cartoon character, Hagar the Horrible, was the advertising for it. Okay, you got your whiskey collection as a backdrop when you're on. Yeah, why not? Well, okay, I'm up to date with you all. I've caught up, despite my ramblings, and they are just. I think I've still got some coffee left here, haven't I? Oh, yeah, with the drinking chocolate in. It's at that horrible tepid stage. So I made this when 9 o'clock, maybe 9:30, and it's nearly 3. That's a while ago, and it's still got some warmth, but not enough to be nice. Ah, 3:48. Okay, folks. I think we'll go till the 4-hour mark on the stopwatch there, and we'll probably call it a day there. Skol is brewed in the UK still, and isn't it only about 3%? Isn't it? It's marketed as like a session beer or something, like a weak beer that you can drink lots of. Oh, oh, what was that about? Like me, it's nothing good. Don't worry. It's Oh, okay. Yeah, of course. Yeah, this thing in Canada with the car driving into the crowd. The guy who did it hasn't got a very Canadian name. A bit of what do they call it? Something enrichment. Is it cultural enrichment? Of course. I'm not politics, folks. Politics. Brewed in the UK still. Redhead fat fella. Hagar the Horrible. I only ever saw black and white cartoons, so who knows? 1959. Skull. Scottish. Wow, I didn't know. Buckfast. That's the tonic. It's marketed as a tonic, yeah? It's like a cough medicine on steroids. Yeah, okay, yeah, you wrote tonic wine, yeah. Made by monks in England. The drink's really popular in Scotland, but it's made by monks in England. 2.8 to 2.9. You know the funny thing about that, Jack Attack? They're allowed to be a whole percentage point out by I was going to say British law. We used to have British law, but yeah, but by law they're allowed to be off by a whole percentage point. So that 2.8 could be 1.8 or 3.8. That's quite a margin. Thomas Erickson, not again. This crap. Is this the Canadian cultural enrichment thing? Drive a car into a crowd and kill. I think it was 9 people at the last count. The Scottish version is called El Dorado. City of Gold. Skull Super Lager, 8%. That's more like it. Yeah, the car thing, driving into groups. Yeah. It's getting so that you can't have a group of people get together, whether it's a Christmas market, an Easter parade, This was I didn't get this, but it was a celebration of, was it Canadian ties, like Thailand? Was it Thailanders or somewhere over that way? I got to be careful with what I let go of or not. I can't. No, I can drag down and see the what are they called? The alert notifications. But I got to be careful at one misclick on the stream ends. Whoa, that sounds like someone just done something silly with PayPal. Oh, guys, what are you doing? Eva. Oh. I don't know. I get embarrassed, but okay. I know I need it, but it's still embarrassing. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. Taste the venom, bedtime. I'm going in 8 minutes and 7 minutes anyway. Yeah, it's. Thank you for subbing. That's great. You probably should watch some of my normal videos first because these are not normal. These hangouts are a little bit off the wall, a little bit different. But yeah, taste the venom. Good night and thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Thumbs up if you haven't already. Anybody else as well that's out there. There we go. Jack Attack with this. Have you got these like saved? Have you got a macro or something, Jack Attack, for just putting these things in? Cheers. I think Jack Attack just has certain. He's not sitting there like picking out the icons each time. He's got. He's probably using one of those. What did it used to be called? It was 3 letters, like a little programming language, and you could set up buttons and combinations that just stick stuff in. Just generally in order. You've got a text file or something. You're just copying and pasting out of them. What was that called? It was like a programming language. It's not like NTK or something, but it's you could reset keyboards and program macro a k something a something k. It's definitely 3 letters, and it was its own little programming language, and you could set up. You could make it obscure keyboard combinations that you would never use normally. Control Alt and then some because you only ever use. There's only one keyboard combination that you use with Control Alt. So just don't hit the delete key and you're all right. John Aldwinkle's waving. Are you waving goodbye to someone else, or are you saying that you're going? Anyway, yeah. Okay. Use most. 4.5 minutes to go, and I've got that noise again. I just want to see whether it's Tina or. I don't like noises in my tent. No, Tina's facing this way, so she can't be. She can't be ruffling the fabric. Nothing in the bedroom. I'm going to assume it's. I was going to say, I'm going to assume it's mice. That's not what I meant. I had half a thought while I was in the middle of saying something else. I'm going to assume it's a moth and not mice, was what I was in the middle of trying to say, when I confused myself by thinking about something else while talking. Do it all the time. When I record videos, and then I watch them while I'm editing, and I realise that I've said totally the wrong word. Cut that bit out, or try and overdub with the right word. or just re-record that minute. Terrible. The good thing is I see other people do it, so I know it's not just a mental aberration from me. Yeah, the bedroom door zips. All of the doors. Yeah, the tent door zip. This zips, but excuse me. If I got a light on in here and there's something between the bedroom and the tent itself, if there's a moth out there and it sees this light, and it's trying to get to what it thinks is the moon, because that's what moths are doing. They're aiming for the moon. So it sees that through the fabric, and it's constantly bashing against the fabric or flapping its wings and hitting fabric. Like I said, I saw 2 or 3 inside here earlier. I managed to get one of them out by using this light and pretending it's the moon and getting the moth to fly towards it, and then grabbing it and throwing it outside at the second attempt. Can you imagine grabbing a moth, right, and then throwing it out the door? Like, throw it out, and when you bring your hand back in, the bugger's still on the palm of your hand. What are you doing? Go! Freedom! No. Oh, that's my other worry, that a lot of my clothes that I've taken out that had got wet when all the water filled the tent, and that I didn't realize were wet. I will lift something up and then a moth will fly away, and you're thinking, okay, we got 3 months before they've got a hole in them. Yeah. Buggers. I've literally never seen so many moths in this field. Walked Tina tonight, and there was like and because I've got the head torch on, they're all up and in my face. You know, they think this is the moon, and they're in my face. But I also saw some under trees and under bushes and doing whatever they're doing. So yeah, it's strange how the ecology of this field changed. First it went very arid. Well, it used to flood, and then they stopped it flooding, and it went very arid. Then we've had a lot of rain this winter or spring, I guess, and now it's all snails and moths and flies and everything. Don't know, folks. Don't know. It's interesting, but not necessarily in a good way. You don't want to be in a field with lots of flies and mosquitoes and snails and potentially slugs, although I haven't seen any as yet. Okay, folks, we are on 3:59 and 45 seconds. Thank you everybody for stopping by, but we're coming up on the 4-hour mark, and I'm going to call it quits there in 3, 2, 1. Catch you later, folks. Delta Mike out. Awkward moment.